Hello, everyone. A bit of a strange departure from our usual thing here. I am lucky enough to be here with BlueDragonFive,
Hello, everyone.
and as well as the man that should have won this last season of Who Reviews the Reviewers,
I'm in agreement with that.
I can't say I'm not.
Superhero Enthusiast.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Hooray!
Thanks for coming along. I really appreciate it.
We love
Anyway,
this man.
we had apparently I was brought into this because we had a little problem deciding what the video should be about, but we decided we're going to start off with talking about what we like about superheroes and things like that.
Yeah, the idea, folks, is that, well, we thought since we have such an esteemed guest here, the superhero enthusiast, that'd be an interesting place to start the conversation. Why we enjoy superheroes.
I'll let you start, BlueDragonFive, okay?
Okay. I think that one of the qualities I like most about superheroes is that they're people that know right from wrong. They always do the right thing no matter how difficult it is, and they save people. I think those are the most appealing qualities of the superhero. Enthusiast?
I like them because they're modern day mythology. They're not just because they're tales of people with amazing abilities doing amazing things and heroic things. But I mean, if you actually look at the way storytelling works in like classic mythology and folklore and stuff, it actually works really similarly to the way storytelling in superhero comics works. And it's kind of like people tell stories and then they retell them and they redo them and things get rebooted and retold and revamped, and there are crossovers even. I don't know if you guys know this, but like Robin Hood is like this gigantic like medieval crossover. Like all of the different merry men, they're all from their own like folk tales.
So you're saying the Robin Hood tale is basically the Avengers?
Yeah, Robin Hood is the Avengers of like the medieval era.
Huh.
Pretty cool.
You know?
I had no idea.
So does that make Friar Tuck the Hulk?
I guess so. But yeah, like Will Scarlet and Little John and Friar Tuck, Maid Marian, even they're all from from different stories, and same goes for all of the Knights of the Round Table too, and King Arthur, which is kind of interesting.
That's what they call themselves, the Knights of the Round Table, the Fantastic Four, if you will.
There's more than four, isn't there?
Oh yeah, there's more.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah, so I was going to say that's more of the Justice League.
You're right. Maybe they're the Justice League. Well, Maid Marian make them Black Widow. I don't know. We can have more than one Avengers back then.
Wait, because there's
like
a million
Coast.
different Justice League teams. Is there more than one Avengers team?
Yeah, there's East Coast Avengers. So
right. Okay.
And then there's New Avengers and Mighty Avengers hats. It's a whole.
Yeah, I was looking that up. That apparently there's like various teams, and like unlike the Justice League, where you still usually have Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, usually it's a different lineup every time. It's not like there's usually various. There's the same one or two, three people throughout, but with the Avengers, like you can have any number of different Marvel characters come into that, which I think is a little bit more interesting.
Well, remember, the Justice League, they had Aquaman and Martian Manhunter headed for a while.
Oh, yeah, because there was, like, Justice League Detroit for a while.
That's the
one. Where Aquaman was in charge.
And Vibe. Vibe was there, too.
Why would they bring Vibe back?
Yeah, they gave him, like, a new spin-off comic, am I right?
Yeah.
Why doesn't Commissioner Gordon get a book if they're giving that guy a book?
I don't know.
I'm just saying.
Dan DiDio's an idiot, I guess. I would be curious to look at the sales figures and see how many people are actually buying that book, because I can't imagine it's very many.
You know, I don't hate DiDio. I just think he's making bad decisions, or a few, really risky decisions.
Well, I don't hate him either. I just disagree with basically every decision he's ever made.
I think what's really salvaged in New 52 is we are getting some good stories by some people. Really, what's their greatest strength is they're kind of playing it like it's not the New 52, though. So really,
that's the thing is, like, all of the great New 52 stuff isn't dependent on it being the New 52.
Yeah. It's like, if you really, the purpose of New 52 is getting new readers. I really think they're just saying that to get shock value and get new intrigue for the books, just with the shock value of we're rebooting it from scratch. I think that's really the purpose, just to draw some attention with the idea that, okay, we're starting from scratch, even though really it's not a good move.
Well, they didn't really start with scratch, and that's sort of the problem.
Well, yeah.
It was like a half-assed sort of a thing. It's like some books were new continuity, some weren't, and then the ones that were the same continuity, they've since changed, and it's just all a mess. And
it's like if DC did what Marvel now was doing.
Exactly.
Breathe new life into him, and I think that's basically what Snyder's doing, and what Snyder's also doing with Superman, is bringing new life into it, and we're getting new titles like Batman Beyond Unlimited, and Arkham Unhinged. Like, those are good ideas. All of those are good ideas. And good stuff, just bringing new life into the character, just new stories and new ideas. And even with Batgirl, even Batgirl's a risky move because some people say, well, why give her legs back? It's being kind of justified, and it's Barbara Gordon back into the forefront, so I don't hate it. It's just
I think Babs has always worked best as Oracle, but I mean, that said, she does live in a world with Lazarus pits and, cyborgs and robot technology. Like, why can't they give her robot legs?
Yeah, I just like the Barbara Gordon character, and I like her Batgirl years, and just seeing her as Batgirl again's not bad, but I think as long as you keep both aspects of the two characters there, just, her being, if she is Batgirl, make her still as smart as Oracle. That's what they do with that Batgirl Year One story. She's as smart as Oracle, but still Batgirl. That's why I love that story, and I like her as Batgirl. So as long as they keep that about, I don't have any problems with it. But if they make her just completely inexperienced, like not interesting a character, then I don't care.
So, what would your guys' ideal Justice League lineup be? Well, assuming you can only have 7 or 8, I guess, on the team.
I wouldn't even go 7 or 8, to be honest.
Let's see.
Oh, yeah?
Who
would like to go first? Also, Magpie, what do you like about superheroes before we...
Superheroes have always been kind of a part of my life, I was watching the reruns of the Batman 60s show when I was very young, and of course I thought it was all serious. All the jokes were going over my head.
Every kid was like that. Every kid who watched that
was all of us.
It was.
Yeah. So I was exposed to Batman even before the Tim Burton movie came out, and I actually still watched that before I think even before I was 6 years old.
It's funny.
What?
I didn't grow up in the 60s generation where I could have watched it for the first time.
Well,
unfortunately, but what I did do is, when Bravo was like counting down the superheroes, they have these Bravo countdowns like top 20 superheroes or supervillains.
Yeah.
When they're talking about heroes, and they get to Batman. I heard when I was just a kid, I remember they would mention Batman had a TV show, and then at that time they would show the Burton clip, however.
Oh, okay.
And yet I'm thinking, oh my! So I thought the Tim Burton show for a brief time was the '60s Batman show. So I thought that there was a TV show that was the Burton movies.
Wouldn't it have been wonderful if it had been in the aesthetic of Tim Burton, but with the writing and the comedy and the campiness of that Adam show?
Oh, we do kind of have the.
With Batman.
Looking back at it, we have.
Yeah, I guess you're right. We did get that with the Schumacher films.
Only we didn't get a giant neutron bomb.
Yeah, because some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Indeed.
Some days you can't.
You were saying Magpie, or should we go to...
Yeah, like I said, I always grew up with them, and so they've always fascinated me. I can't honestly say what fascinated me most about them, because it's usually like these guys, the guys going around saving people, and now that I also do realize now there's a lot of the old myths sort of, they are kind of like the old myths brought back. And I've said this before. I am not a huge comic book guy. I've only recently started buying up a few, and unfortunately, my local comic book shop is closed down, so I'm going to have to travel somewhere a little bit further to get my comic books. But I've only read a few since then, so I'm more of a fan of superheroes on film than anything else.
To the Justice League.
Yeah, but my Justice League lineup, if it was, I'd only do 5 because but I assume if I was doing it in a comic book, I would go up to 8. But
5's a lot more manageable.
Yeah,
5 is
I
my
would
favorite.
I would do Batman, Superman, because I really do like that dynamic. Wonder Woman. I would bring on Aquaman just to try and do something interesting with him. And of course, I'd read a lot more of these characters beforehand, and I would throw Green Arrow on there instead of Green Lantern because, well, I'm not a big I'd prefer Green Arrow than Green Lantern. Anyway, that's my lineup.
Okay. Back to the Hall of Justice, enthusiast.
That's tough, because, like, with Justice League, I kind of want to go classic with it. Just have the pretty straightforward lineup: Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, Aquaman, and then I would probably go Hawkgirl. That's 8 rather than the 7.
Yeah.
But then they could sort of split up into, like, an A team and a B team, 4 and 4.
Yeah, I'd bring, if I could trade out Aquaman, I'd bring in Flash. Because it's
He's
just
a great character.
Yeah, I watched some of there was our local video shop had a tape with I think it must have been like Super Friends or something, because there was a series of Aquaman cartoons, but they were done in like the
Filmation style?
Yeah, something like that, and I always liked Aquaman back then, but
I hated how we flew in the Super Friends.
Really?
I hate how he flies. Aquaman can't fly. Submariner, he can fly, but not Aquaman.
Yeah.
As far as
I wouldn't have it fly. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe
flying on fumes.
Flying fish, maybe.
Well, that's the Submariner. He has wings on his feet. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Come on now.
As far as, like, which Green Lantern to go with, I don't know. That's a good question.
Hal Jordan?
Probably, if I'm going for classic lineup, I guess Hal Jordan. I would kind of want to make it more diverse, though, so maybe go for Jon Stewart.
Yeah, I remember when the Justice League show came on, I'm like, I always thought Green Lantern was black. I always thought it was always thought Jon Stewart was Green Lantern. I didn't realize that. Oh, there was this other guy before him.
Whenever I would wear as a kid, when I would wear a Justice League shirt and Hal Jordan be featured on it, some black people would come up to me and say, "Wait, I thought the Green Lantern was black."
Well,
that would happen.
Yeah,
that's his most famous incarnation, I would say, is Jon Stewart in the animated series.
That's true. And I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah. I don't know. I like Jon Stewart. Now, my ideal version of Justice League, my instant go-to is going to be the animated series. Don't get me wrong. That's going to be my go-to. However, if I were to come up my film Justice League in my mind, my ultimate film Justice League, it's just film and just kind of, if I had to like put them on a big screen, it's not just my own wish fulfillment of just putting the animated series on screen. It would have to be Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern. I would say Hal Jordan just as an introduction to him. Just kind of the classic Hal Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I like Jon Stewart very much. It's just I'm kind of going with Hal Jordan because he's the classic. And Kyle Rayner's cool also, but he's classic.
Kyle Rayner's probably my favorite, actually, the more I think about it.
But the best, and he gets the least credit.
Yeah, but the weird thing is, like, to have him on the team, it's like he's significantly younger than everyone else, so...
Like Dick Grayson age.
Mm-hmm.
So you have, Kyle Rayner, Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan, The Flash, Martian Manhunter.
Barry Allen?
No, I'm still saying Wally West because I know I mentioned the original Flash. I think it's really Wally West is most entertaining as the Flash. No, all the Flashes are good. That's the thing. Barry Allen. Mm-hmm. I'd say Barry Allen and Wally West are probably the best Flashes.
Yeah.
But I always say Wally West, but really I don't think it really matters which Flash because they're both good.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're gonna go for Hal Jordan,
I know it should probably go.
Probably go with Barry Allen. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess just make sure like if he's played like that also because everyone identifies with the Wally West Flash. I think everyone like really loves the Wally West Flash. I guess if you're right, maybe we should probably go with Barry Allen, but I still kind of like Wally West. It really doesn't. I don't think it matters too much. I know if you're killing one, then it has to be Barry Allen.
Yeah.
But still, I guess I'm just gonna say Flash. So when I say it like that, but yeah, Barry Allen, Wally West, up to interpretation. But personally, I won't say Wally West, but yeah, probably Barry Allen. Anyway, Flash, Martian Manhunter. Love Martian Manhunter. He's so cool.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love the detective Martian Manhunter we got in New Frontier. I want to see a series of that. Him as a detective. I know you're a series enthusiast of. Why don't you say what your series is? Nice viewing people out there.
Oh, well, I just kind of have an idea of like an ongoing thing with him, and it'd be a little bit more like Kolchak the Night Stalker, sort of X-Files-ish, in that, he gets kind of zapped to Earth, and he can shapeshift and stuff, and so he kind of investigates paranormal stuff because he's trying to find out if he's like alone or not. So, I mean, this would granted sort of have to be like a separate continuity, so like there wouldn't be other heroes. But if you're gonna do like mainstream, like main continuity, John Jones, I think he should make him like a U.S. Marshal or a bounty hunter rather than a private detective, because then he's actually a manhunter.
Bounty hunter could be really cool, especially since he's an alien, like an alien bounty hunter like Boba Fett.
Well, it gives him a reason to actually be called Martian Manhunter.
It would be cool. But still, I mean, detective, it's almost like a manhunter if they're finding, killers and stuff.
Kind of, yeah.
But still, detective, I just like the whole classic detective thing. I always thought it was a great addition for New Frontier. That was interesting. And plus the idea he'd be in Gotham as a cop, I always thought was really cool.
I love the retro Martian Manhunter comics. He's in this place typically called Apex City.
Yeah.
I think it's in Florida, and it's crazy. It's like every other issue, there's like some weird asteroid hitting the city. It's crazy.
Yeah. So in a nutshell, it's Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, Flash, Martian Manhunter, Aquaman, and Green Arrow. I like Green Arrow. I'm saying again, outside of just instantly saying the animated Justice League with Jon Stewart and Hawkgirl, I'm going to say just when I think Justice League originally, just thinking from the comics Justice League, I'm going to have Green Arrow on there instead of Hawkgirl, because Hawkgirl really wasn't she wasn't featured mainly on the Justice League. She was always she was always brought on there because Hawkman was on there. It's kind of like if another one probably Black Canary in addition to Green Arrow being there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good characters, mind you. I like Green Arrow. I really do. He's really neat. And he brings a lot to the team, I think. Then again, kind of like the Avengers as Hawkeye, so you got two archers on a team.
Yeah.
But yeah, just yeah. What about villains? What do we think about heroes going up against villains?
They do a good job of it.
They do.
Yeah.
Well,
usually.
What makes a good villain?
Well, I think the best ones, but you don't want to overdo it with these ones, are the ones that try to outthink the hero and forces the hero, where the hero actually has to outthink them. Those are the best ones, I think. It's why Batman and Joker work so well together. It's why Superman and Lex and even Brainiac to a degree work well against one another. It's why a lot of the best hero and villains, the top villains are always the ones that try to outthink the superhero rather than beat them up or
psychologically break them.
Yeah, psychologically break them. They're the best ones, but you don't want to overdo it with them. You need some muscle to go up against them, but usually when that happens, they don't do much with the mind of the character, and that's unfortunate. Because a good combination would also work. But yeah, those are my favorite ones.
What do we? Who do we think is the best supervillain? Who's for each of us? Who do we think is our favorite villain? I'm going to say Joker. I know I'm cheating, but I'm saying Joker.
That's tough.
Is it Joker for everyone, or
no?
Is it Luthor for you?
For me, it's a toss-up between Lex Luthor and Magneto.
Ooh, Magneto is cool.
Ooh,
Joker's definitely up there.
Oh, definitely. For me, it's instantly Joker. When I think the ultimate supervillain, I'm thinking Joker.
Yeah, I was going to say, does it have to be comic book?
Well, I mean, no, it doesn't have to be comic book.
I think,
It can't be Ed 209.
No. I was going to say, I got quite a few. If it is comic book, it's definitely, it is definitely Joker, because that was the first supervillain I was actually exposed to.
What about Merlin?
And Merlin works, but if I'm serious, it's one of my favorite ones that goes quite over the top is the Master from Doctor Who, and another one from like Star Trek is the Borg. I really like them, but it's just that they're the one. The Borg is one of the last ones that Star Trek did, but they unfortunately Voyager tried to make them human, and it really was like, especially when 7 and 9 came on, it seemed like they were always endeavoring to find more like her, and it was like,
I think they could even be traced back to First Contact, because I think the whole idea of a Borg Queen is just wrong, because the whole thing that was scary about the Borg were like they were this faceless entity that you could get absorbed into, and then if you put a face on them, then they're not scary anymore.
But would you trace that even further back to Best of Both Worlds when they assimilated Picard?
Yeah, geez, yeah. Well, I think the purpose of Locutus was, to sort of put a face on them, but that was to make it maybe, to make humanity more willing to get assimilated. I think it was like a propaganda technique that they maybe experimented with. I never got the implication that Locutus was like running the Borg, if that makes sense.
He was just the one that was doing all the talking. He was like the spokesperson.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
That would be my take on it, anyway.
Yeah. Well, the Queen worked for the movie. I just wouldn't have brought her back for Voyager or anything. But I maintain what Captain Logan said. If they'd just done like 2-parters with the Borg, it would have been like enough. I mean, you're sacrificing a great episode of Voyager with one, but it would have worked better if they'd only brought up the Borg in 2-parters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, going with what you said, Magpie, about the villain's always trying to break the hero both mentally and physically, especially mentally. The one of the great examples of this I found recently with Snyder's Joker story was, again, with the Joker, is that I love how he won. Joker won in the end. Technically, Joker did win in the end in that he was in a position before the big climax of the story, where he was literally behind bars, and he's lost. However, he just proves that Batman's ties to his family were always going to outdo him, and basically he was at Joker's mercy. So at that point, Joker was literally in the palm of Batman's hand, and that he lost. So it's just really he beat the hero on an emotional and psychological level.
That's death of the family, right?
Yeah, death of the family. Yeah.
Yeah.
Joker kind of wins at the end of the Dark Knight as well. I mean, he proves that Harvey Dent was able to fall.
Yeah, and it was the best of them, and that was a good movie, and a great movie. Sorry, it was an awesome movie.
Well, Go ahead.
And I know a lot of people don't really like The Dark Knight Rises, but I do.
I also do.
I'm in love with that movie. I want to make love to that movie.
Really? You like it that much, Enthusiast? I know you liked it. I didn't know it was that much.
Well, I didn't know.
I'm working on like a scene-by-scene review of it.
I thought you were doing that for all the Nolan films.
Maybe at some point, but I'm doing Rises first because I have a lot to say about it.
Well, I knew you liked it. I didn't know you loved it that much. But yeah, don't get me wrong. It's a good movie. It's worth that. Definitely.
Yeah, it's very much for me a toss-up between those two movies because for all the flaws that people point out in Rises, I'm like, that's still a very good movie. And yeah, I just really liked it, and
you just need to rewatch it to kind of get the answer to those.
Yeah, a lot of the flaws that people point out are actually like explained in the movie. So it's kind of like, well, if you just pay attention.
Which I did when I first watched it. And people complain that you can't understand Bane. Like, sometimes I do find it hard, but usually that's because I'm focused on I'm doing something else, or my mind's wandering for some reason.
There's only one line I couldn't understand Bane saying, just one in the movie. I still have trouble hearing.
Which one?
It's right after, whenever he's in talking to Daggett.
Oh, yeah.
He's talking to Daggett, and right after he says, what are you? He says, I'm Gotham's Reckoning. Right after that, he has a line. Because in all the trailers, I'm Gotham's Reckoning. Right after that, he has one line, a little, some grouping of lines. Right after that, I can't hear.
Oh.
Do you know what he says, Enthusiast, after that? Or?
It's something to the effect of, I'm here to end the borrowed time you've all been living on.
Yeah,
something to that effect.
Yeah, that's it. That's the line that's the only line I have trouble hearing. I can hear him clearly for the rest of the things, just that one line. For some reason.
I have trouble hearing the occasional line, but it's like I have trouble hearing everybody's lines occasionally. Like, it's not just Bane, it's just I don't know, I find with a lot of these movies nowadays, the sound mixing is just really terrible. It's like voices and dialogue is really, really silent, and the music and the sound effects are super loud. Maybe that's just me, but...
Well, I'll admit, I think IMAX is they're being shot with an IMAX camera. I guess that has some influence on it. Well, some of the films are being shot with IMAX camera, and the sound effects kind of overpower the dialogue at times. Like, for instance, if I watch...
that should all be fixed in post, though.
Well, even when it is fixed in post, I mean... For instance, I watch Dark Knight Rises. I have the Blu-ray DVD combo pack, okay?
Yeah.
So I watch the Blu-ray. Essentially, the Blu-ray is kind of the IMAX also. Problem with that is I put it in, and I raise the volume to hear the actors, and then the explosions go off. It's really loud.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying, if I were to watch this tonight, I have to keep turning it up if I didn't want to wake anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm saying that's kind of... I would have to watch the regular version, so I wouldn't have to arouse any suspicion.
Well, no, the DVD version's the exact same. It's the noises are all super loud and the dialogue's quiet.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like the regular one doesn't do that, though. I think it might just be the Blu-ray and the IMAX.
No, I have the DVD and it does that. So.
Okay,
yeah.
Fair enough.
Me too.
Maybe it's just me. I don't know.
I haven't watched Rises again in a while because I went to the theater and saw it a bunch of times.
Okay, each of us should quote Bane. Just a Bane line, each of us.
Hmm.
Okay, I'll say my favorite one. Ah, yes. I was wondering what would break first. Your spirit or your body?
When Gotham is ashes, you have my permission to die. I love that. I love that whole scene, by the way.
Oh, it's a good one.
Um,
It's just done so quietly and like calmly, like the whole they see hope. Then you have permission to die.
Yeah, I love that your soul line, where it's just like he gets really personal.
Yeah,
in that moment.
It does. It's just a quiet scene between the two of them saying, "This is your situation, and once you realize the true depths of your failure, then, only then, we have my permission to die."
I also love the bit where he says, where Daggett says, "I paid you a lot of money," and he's like, "You believe this gives you power over me?" It's like, right after that, you're like, "Oh, he's dead."
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You knew that guy was gonna die at Bane's hands. Come on.
He just gently rests his hand on his shoulder.
Yeah.
In just like the most intimidating way possible.
No, it's actually like grasping his face a little bit, like close, almost like next to his neck or something.
Well, he does afterwards, yeah.
Yeah. We paid you a small fortune. Greatly appreciated. Impossible.
Let's be honest, basically everything Bane says in this movie is awesome and instantly quotable.
Yeah.
I love that whole, darkness speech, and that's brilliant.
I didn't see the dark until I was already a man. Where's the... Sorry, I'm screwing it up, but...
Light.
I was born in it. This is... You think darkness is your ally. You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it. Molded by it. I didn't see the light till I was already a man. By then, to me, it was nothing but blinding.
Yeah, the shadows betray you because they belong to me. That's so badass.
It is. So, Enthusiast, what's your Bane line?
Oh, jeez.
Is it the mask line?
That's a really great line, because, it draws that perfect parallel between him and Bruce. Like,
I'll admit that...
Nobody cared who I was till I put on the mask.
I'll admit it's good and it's in there. I just think that maybe they could have honed that theme a little more.
Well, no, they do, because they talk about, the mask is there to keep the pain at bay. And that's, like, emotionally
but
what
Bruce
Batman is for Bruce, yeah.
I guess it's a lot of good ideas, and I think some of them maybe, if this makes any sense, maybe a little too subtle. It's good stuff and it's in there. I just think that sometimes it kind of subtlety bleeds in there a little bit. Too much. If that makes any sense. I'm sorry if I'm not making any sense, just that...
No, I don't really think it's that subtle. But.
Yeah, the ideas are there, and kind of the thing with the line later on about the point of contention for some people. I was formerly this myself, but when we hear Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character, John Blake, he knows who Bruce is,
mm-hmm.
and he has that spiel about I could tell in that look you and I were the same, that you were smiling for the world. It's a good line, and basically it's a roundabout way of him saying that I figured out who you were. I had an idea, like every orphan, that you were Batman, just saying, "Oh yeah, this guy's awesome. He's Batman. He must be cool like Batman." And I actually looked into it, and you were him. He's just saying it in more of a well-written way. It's just not it's not nail on the head saying, "Yeah, I know who you are. I did this research." It's more of a whimsical way of saying it.
Well, yeah, it's like he talks about when they're kids, they used to make up stories, and then for him, they weren't stories, and like you get the impression that. It wasn't just him seeing that he was faking a smile that he instantly knew he was Batman. It's that he got this clue and he would have, followed through with it over time.
Yeah. Again, it's not a problem. It's just, I think it might be just a little too subtle for the general audience. And again, it's good and it's in there. All the ideas are in there. It's just sometimes I think with the rewatch, you're going to pick up on them a little more.
Yeah.
Which is good. It's a good testament of film. You keep watching and find new things, but like ideas just really hone in there.
I really find that with quite a few of Nolan's films. I'm going to go through some of his earlier stuffs like Memento and a few others.
Inception's great.
Yeah.
But
Inception, I'm always finding more layers to that than anything else, because that's
the film you need to go deeper with.
yeah, you need to go even deeper.
Yeah, fourth level deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's your Bane line, Enthusiast? Is it the mask?
No, it's probably from the prison speech.
President speech?
The prison speech.
Oh, prison. I thought you said prison. What?
I'm still working on my goodbye to Who Reviews the Reviewers video, which will probably be a parody of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Captain Logan.
Yeah, that essentially.
It's going to be. I'm just going to replace Commissioner Gordon with Captain Logan in that speech. He saved my boy.
Somewhat.
And the madman was Doomsvince, so instead of Two-Face, it'd be Doomsvince.
Kind of. I have it worked out mostly. I just need to get around to filming it and putting the thing together at some point.
I'm sorry I voted off the Enthusiast. It was a mistake. I'm sorry. Captain Logan, you have... When Who Reviews when Geek Pollution is ashes, you'll have my permission to die.
Yeah.
Something along those goofy lines.
In your subscriber list sits a symbol of oppression, geekvolution.
You think yourself Roger Ebert, so you give him as your final task. You want us to push the like button, the thumbs up. But you, sir, give me the thumbs down. You will truly realize the depths of your failure, and you will push that thumbs up button. So help me. Will.
Geekvolution, where 19 reviewers have suffered under the name of this man, Captain Logan, who has been held up to you as the shining example of critical analysis.
I love that.
You have been supplied with a false idol.
This false idol.
To stop you from unsubscribing from this corrupt channel.
This corrupt... I love how he says corrupt in that film. Corrupt system.
Yeah.
You think it's nutty, but I think he delivers that like Gary Oldman. I know it sounds silly, but it's just when he says corrupt, he sounds like Gary Oldman to me. Just that one line.
Which is weird because he's in that movie.
I know!
Yeah.
You know what? I love Gary Oldman, and especially Commissioner Gordon. Yep.
Yeah.
So what's your Bane line?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna take the whole speech.
Yeah,
I
there
love
you
that
go.
speech.
Gotham is yours. Well, say it as Bane, would you? Come on.
Oh, I'm terrible Bane voice.
Come on, give us a Bane.
Try.
I suck at it.
Okay. But yeah, that Rises actually did what it did something. It took away that image of Bane from Batman and Robin.
It did. But
Yeah.
yeah.
You guys, minute or not, if it's a bad, if you don't think it's that good of a movie, no matter what, it did supremely better job of doing Bane than Batman and Robin did, because that was like...
Hell, it did a better version than the comics.
Well, I mean, for the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying there are some good Banes. There was actually a Bane comic where he's working with Ra's al Ghul, and he beats him in chess. Actually, well, Joker also beat Ra's al Ghul in chess.
Yeah.
There's that comic called The Demon Laughs. That's a good comic.
Because the Joker is, he's not trying to win.
Yeah.
He's just trying to keep the game going.
You couldn't anticipate his strategies.
Ooh.
He's always unpredictable with his moves.
Of course.
Yeah, but if I had to rank Rises, it's only third because it kind of falls into the Star Wars thing. I love Dark Knight's my favorite. I love Dark Knight. And it's because I really think Begins is a great film. Of course, you have probably a lot of good they have a really good amount of Gordon in that one, and Gordon's great in that film. But overall, I'm saying that Begins is a great film, but they're all three. We're sifting through a basket of diamonds here, to quote my favorite Pixar line. We're sifting through a basket of diamonds here, so all great stuff. It's just I rank Rises third because, it's just, I think it's easier to get into the other ones. Just Rises is good, but, it has some risky stuff in there. It's not bad stuff at all. It's just kind of, if it's not out there, it's just kind of, it's not fitting in with the other two, I guess. Not that it's bad.
I find it hard to even, rank them because it's a whole story to me.
Yeah.
It is hard to rank him. However, I don't think. I think you would still have places to go, even with the in between for that. I'm not saying they need to make it. I'm saying also the in between for Rises could have been interesting. Mm-hmm. Kind of, seeing Batman on the run from the cops for a while before he hung up the cape and cowl.
Yeah.
I don't know. The ideas that were kicked around the time, like him teaming up with Catwoman while he was on the run, which we did kind of get.
Well, I'd put them in order because I like Begins best.
Most?
Yeah, because it's just like you said, but all three of them are just great movies. I don't care what anyone says. They're all three of them are great.
I remember I ranked our three finalists for Who Reviews the Reviewers and compared them to the Nolan films. I said Rockman was Begins. I said The Enthusiast was The Dark Knight, and I said Aaron Dicer was Dark Knight Rises. And what did you say to me in regards to that, Enthusiast?
Why can't I have the happy ending?
Yeah, you wanted to be Rises. I didn't know how attached. I knew you liked Rises better than Begins. I didn't know you loved it that much. I would have ranked you as Rises then.
Well, Aaron did get the happy ending.
I ranked you as my favorite, so take that for what you will. I didn't take into account the happy ending because it is. Don't get me wrong. The ending of that film is great. Rises is great. And our hero's been through so much crap. He gets a happy ending. That's always nice.
Well, I mean, and in the process, he teaches Gotham City to stand on its own and to learn to pick themselves up. Which is what I love. Because, the whole thing about, Batman can be anybody, it's because he's wearing a mask that, the hero...
That message gets across.
Yeah, the city didn't need a hero with a face. Believing in Harvey Dent really didn't do anything but make the people of Gotham put their sense of responsibility onto somebody else.
Yeah.
Whereas with Batman, it shows if this guy, if this hated figure can rise up and save the city and shoulder some of the burden, well then, you and I can do it. So it's I don't know, I see this great metaphor at the end when it's the people all come out of their houses and onto the street. It's like they're reclaiming that public space. They're reclaiming the city. I think that's great.
Yeah. And it's kind of in Dark Knight Returns, the animated film, but also the comic. But I don't know. I think I might like the animated film a little more than the comic. I think the story gets across well in the animated film. At the point, no voiceover doesn't bother me. But anyway, in the animated film, that message is also there. But in the end of the first part of the animated film, it's kind of that theme with Rises of inspiring people to take charge. Because, he says that, there's that line he has to Commissioner Gordon, people have given up Jim. They're hiding, like cowards, or they're hiding. That sort of thing, and just seeing Batman inspire people, and then you have all the TV broadcasting on there saying, well, I saw some lady getting mugged out there, and I thought it's my block too, so I might as well get involved. He's having influence, and he says, I feel alive again, Alfred. He feels good. Batman's the old man's reclaimed his fire, reclaimed his spirit. And what I really love about that whole story in general is that what it does is it takes the early years of Batman. It takes just Batman in general at that time. It takes all we knew about Batman at that time. All the way. It kind of reflects his early years in that story, just kind of reclaiming all of his early experiences in the future now. Just going up, he's coming back into the forefront. He's facing old foes like Harvey Dent. He's going up against the police who have it out for him. going up against his greatest rival, the Joker, is like the darkest experience he's going through. And then, he's kind of going up against God-like beings. Or like getting involved into a bigger world with the superheroes like Superman and Green Arrow. It just really encapsulates, I think, just all the... it's just all the Batman struggles just kind of nicely, structurally kind of takes... Again, sorry if I'm repeating this, the last time I'll mention it. It's just kind of wrapping up all the stuff we know about Batman at that time, in the 80s, mind you. Taking all the early stuff we knew about Batman, all the struggles he went through, and just kind of, he gets to go through them again, kind of an older man capturing his youth, going through all those challenges again. I thought was really good for the story.
But
yeah, and that's kind of why
I was
Sorry, go
going
ahead.
to ask, did year one come after the Dark Knight?
Year one was written after, and that's the thing, is like, Frank Miller seems to think that those two books exist in the same universe, and I don't really think that they do. Like, I think Dark Knight Returns is like the closing chapter of Silver Age Batman, and then year one is like the beginning chapter of Bronze Age Batman.
It is, and it's Miller trying to... Miller tried to put it in the same universe, and it did. I think it's still successful in that it blends kind of, because that's why he introduced Sarah Essen. Sarah Essen's introduced in the Return story, and then she's put into Begins. Darn it, year one. She's put into
close enough.
Yeah, she's put into year one to kind of connect the stories, and I think it connects better than obviously it connects better than All Star. All Star Batman. Yeah. Is terrible. It connects better than that, but still, yeah, it was meant to redefine the character, so it wasn't exactly Miller's fault with that, but it's technically, I think they're both still in that kind of Bronze Age. That I'm saying maybe Returns is, you're right, Returns is the ending to the Silver Age, but also kind of the beginning of the Bronze Age at the same time.
I feel like Returns is to Batman what whatever happened to the Man of Tomorrow is to Superman.
Oh, it is.
In that sense.
Indeed it is. You're absolutely right. I guess you're right. Just looking at it, it is kind of the ending to Silver Age, and then, well, year one would be the beginning to the Bronze Age. Yeah, that makes sense, actually. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Yeah. And we got Gordon in both stories, which is also nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We know how much BlueDragonFive loves Gordon.
Okay, I'll stop mentioning it. Speaking of that, I'm sorry, go ahead, Magpie.
I was going to say, I was going to change the topic a bit here. I was going to say, what are some of our heroes that we like outside of the comic book format?
I was going to say... Yeah, outside the comic book form. I was going to say, like, supporting characters in the comics. We can go to outside comics for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, so, Enthusiast, you can go first.
That's a good question. I'm a big Ben Sisko fan. Captain Sisko.
Yeah.
Or the Sisko. That's the prophets call him. Luke Skywalker comes to mind from this little thing. I don't know if people have heard of it. It's called the Star Wars.
Oh yeah,
wasn't that Argo? I think you're thinking of Argo, really. Star Wars is a ripoff of Argo. No, it wasn't.
Well, speaking of Argo, that's obviously based on a true story.
It is.
And in real life, the fake film script that they used was actually was going to be the film adaptation of one of my favorite sci-fi novels, Lord of Light by Roger Zelazny. I love the main character in that. He's called Sam. Well, his full name is Maha Samatman. Basically, what the story is it's kind of Buddhism and Hinduism in like a sci-fi context. So this ship that's carrying Indian people basically goes and colonizes this other planet, and all of the white people who run the ship basically use all their technology to set themselves up as like the Hindu gods, and they all rule over the people. And one of them isn't cool with that after a while, and then he takes on the persona of the Buddha, and and uses Buddhism as like a culture jamming tool to like fight against them, and it's brilliant. And he's such a great character because like he pretends to be the Buddha, but he's not actually enlightened. But then his teachings cause other people to become enlightened. So he's just like this great trickster hero. That's a whole lot of fun. I'm trying to think of like non-comic stuff.
Freakazoid.
Yeah,
Tell me I'm wrong. Indiana Jones.
Yeah, that's definitely a good one. Indiana Jones.
James Bond, who Indiana Jones is based off of to an extent.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I'm blanking on this.
Just quickly, you mentioned Ben Sisko. What are your feelings about the final episode of Deep Space Nine as it relates to how they essentially how the show ended?
You mean kind of turning him into a prophet?
Yeah.
At the end? I don't really like that. I mean, the whole metaphor I think they're trying to draw is that like Trekkies view the captains basically as gods.
Yeah.
But the thing about Ben Sisko and the thing I like about him is like he was the most human of the captains, so it doesn't really make sense to do it with him.
Yeah, I always had a problem with that. But yeah,
Marty McFly.
He's not really a hero. It's just stuff happens to him and he reacts to it. I never saw him as like a hero, but like stuff happens to him and he's just always got this problem that he has to get back to his own time, and he never really does anything really heroic. I mean, he helps out his dad to become a man and all that. That's really good.
I guess that means Brian Mills doesn't count either.
I have no idea who that is.
Liam Neeson from Taken.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Well, yeah.
Saves his daughter twice.
Yeah.
Well, saves his wife in the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually still kind of like that, but I like the first one better.
I also like Taken too, but I do like. I'm in agreement with you, Magpie. I enjoy them both. I'm excited to see what the third one is. Third one's going to change up the format a bit. And no, it's not his dog that's going to be stolen. Just stop it.
That would be hilarious.
Give me back my uncle.
Well, that's the thing. It's like
harsh about Taken. I like Taken.
Taken needs to get a little bit more ridiculous as time goes on because it can be like the new Die Hard series, basically.
Well, Liam Neeson's getting all up there, so I think this might be the last one.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, Liam Neeson's awesome, especially an A-Team sequel would be cool, but that's not happening. The A-Team, there's a group of heroes right there that aren't the Avengers, the A-Team.
Yeah, I never saw the show, really. But I did see the movie, and like, no, that was an interesting origin.
That guy that plays Baracus is really cool. It's like Bumper Johnson or Bumper Robinson, I believe, is playing him. There's a young. It was his screen debut. Bumper Robinson playing Mr. T's character, B.A. Baracus.
No,
I'm not familiar with him.
And what they did with him is they basically did something interesting in that movie. They took away the Mr. T-ism, so they wasn't just instantly identify as Mr. T. It would just be more like, this character's really awesome. They focus on the awesome aspects of B.A.
B.A. Baracus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
wasn't that... Yeah, wasn't that... It wasn't he... Yeah, he was an Ultimate Fighter. I forget what he's... Oh, God. Just signed with some...
RoboCop.
RoboCop.
I love RoboCop.
Yeah.
He's so cool.
We did a commentary on that. We really like that. And I was wondering why they didn't take that 70s show into the 80s, because, well, they would have had to have RoboCop come up and... Someone's already made that joke, but I just thought I'd repeat it. Dad, you were just shooting RoboCop constantly.
Jeez.
Why are you smuggling cocaine?
Yeah. Oh, come on, man.
Mm.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
Kim Possible.
I always liked Heracles when I was a kid, just from Greek mythology.
Hercules.
I like Hercules.
Did you watch the Legendary Journeys?
I think I maybe saw like 1 or 2 episodes, but...
I think they're re-airing them now.
Probably. I mean, everything's re-airing on some channel.
The Hub's bringing back old shows. I like the Hercules animated film.
Oh, yeah.
It's a nostalgic favorite.
Aladdin, then, I guess.
Ooh,
I like Aladdin.
Megamind. He's a good character. He's kind of a villain and a hero. And that's a good movie. Magpie, have you seen Megamind or still not yet?
Wait.
I know you don't have it, but have you seen it at all?
I'm supposed to be getting it soon. Bobby's doing something soon, and I'm gonna try and watch some of the stuff that he's gonna be reviewing soon. So hopefully it will come along with that stuff, because I'm getting it through QuickFlix, which is the Australian version of Netflix.
Why do we like Indiana Jones, by the way? I think we kind of glazed over that.
Indy's like kind of like
Again, he's kind of like James Bond.
Yeah, he's constantly in these situations that like he has to step up. So
he's a human James Bond in a way.
Well, James Bond is human unless you believe those things that say he's a Time Lord, because he keeps changing his faces every
No. I mean he's more of like
he's
James
more
Bond's
vulnerable than Bond is.
He's more destructible than Bond. It's like Bond is more. He's kind of exaggerated human, if you will.
He struggles through things more than I think Bond does.
It's like if, for instance, some people would say Batman would be kind of a Bondish character at times, like when he's with the Justice League. But when he's like regular Batman, he's gonna be a little more Indiana Jones. He's gonna get hurt a little more doing this stuff.
Yeah,
that's fair. Yeah, in a way, because it's Indiana Jones is just this real likable character. He has these mundane things in that he's mundane in that he's like us in that he has like more than one interest. Like he's an archaeologist, but in the best, most awesome way.
He's also kind of a grave robber, but
yeah.
That's the cool thing I like about Indiana Jones. Is
he's adventure.
He is adventure personified. I mean, those films are a throwback to the old pulp serials, and I love that kind of stuff. So.
No, yeah. Lucas even has that with Star Wars. He bring the old pulp serial feel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also, with Bond, it's more class than if it's adventure for it's more globetrotting class for James Bond, more adventure and just boyhood fantasy for Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're both globetrotters, but like. When Bond travels, he
travels in style.
He stays in the fancy luxury hotels, and Indiana Jones is like staying in a mud hut somewhere.
Yeah, it's like James Bond is selling the sex of it all in a way.
Yeah,
the appeal of it all. It's like, oh, if you're gonna travel, you gotta travel in style. I mean, come on, Louis. Aston Martins, women with suggestive names, gadgets. I love the gadgets.
Yeah.
But but the also thing with Indiana Jones, let's say the best scene from Indiana Jones is when he shoots the guy in Raiders of the Lost Ark, when he shoots the swordsman.
Hands down.
Yeah, well, that you know why that came up, don't you?
I know.
Yeah. They have this big, elaborate fight scene between the guy with the sword and Indy with the whip. And they all had, like, dysentery,
yes.
And it was hot, and they didn't want to film it, so Harrison Ford's like, what if he just shoots the guy?
Yep. And that guy was so ticked off.
I can imagine.
He's like, I worked so hard on this, man.
But do you think he's probably more memorable for being just shot than he would have been otherwise?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. And he'd probably be thanking him for that. Plus, he gets kind of his revenge in Temple of Doom. In Temple of Doom, they have this great callback to that when you like Indy asks for a gun, but it's not there, and he has to do a sword fight with these guys.
Which is weird because that film takes place before Raiders of the Lost Ark.
It is technically a prequel. It's not a bad one.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if I had to rank it, it'd be third, followed by Crystal Skull, but still. Temple of Doom, it's
What's this Crystal Skull thing you're talking about?
I didn't hate that. I didn't hate it.
Yeah, I don't hate Crystal Skull either. It's just it's the worst set of all of them if I had to rank them.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I think it's salvageable.
Yeah, I like the fridge bit.
The fridge part is like my favorite part of the movie. Like that doesn't bother me at all.
That and the motorcycle chase.
It's the fact that they keep adding in like all these characters, and it just is like we don't need another person here.
I like how they were kind of getting the 50s sci-fi aspect of it. However, I think showing the aliens was too much.
Making them from another dimension was even more. Yeah, I would have just said they were from another planet.
Yeah, I think keeping it mysterious is what they should have done. Just like do the Crystal Skulls. Because Crystal Skulls actually have historic significance, if I'm correct. Even Wayne Aykroyd's had some words about it.
But they're real things.
Yeah, exactly. They are.
I mean, they're not real alien skulls, but
they're not.
They're real artifacts.
Yeah, play with the Crystal Skull angle of it all, but just don't go alien with it. Or at least if you do go alien, keep it very vague but in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when they find the Holy Grail, Jesus doesn't show up.
You get a cool night ghost. The night ghost is cool.
The artifact has some powers, but it's always subtle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a question mark in that did we see what we really saw, or...
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the whole, like, Marion, close your eyes! Don't open your eyes, Marion, or the Kali Ma. Keep in mind, Kali Ma is really dark in Temple of Doom.
Yeah.
Again, keep in mind, this film was so dark, then right after this film, they invented the PG-13 rating. He suggested to Jack Valenti that they have the PG-13 rating.
Mm-hmm.
Which the Magpie, what's your rating over there for that?
15 plus.
Yes.
If it's over PG, then it's M, and then there's an MA rating, and then it goes to R. And usually with M, it's more like PG-13, but like you could show an M movie to a 13-year-old. It's just that they put it up that little bit higher, so you don't take like an 8 or 9-year-old to it.
Yeah.
So it's like the fact that younger people are going to watch it is built into the number that they choose.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They factor in that people are going to lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that the...
Because Aussies aren't galactically stupid when it comes to rating systems.
Yeah. That was like the darkest PG film ever, and Spielberg wanted it, because they were pushing an NC-17 rating. They cut some stuff out, actually.
That would be too far.
Yeah.
Admittedly. That would be too far.
Maybe not NC-17, I mean like an R.
That's a huge jump.
It is a huge jump.
From like PG, which is probably for all audiences, to that. It's silly.
Yeah. But it's just, thankfully...
But 13's not... 13. Yeah, 13's too, like, it's a weird age. That's why 15 is better. Without getting into a huge debate.
Yeah, definitely.
I think the Aussie system works a little bit better.
Yeah, fair enough.
He does rip, a guy's heart out of his chest, and it's still beating.
And then there's like the whole dinner sequence, the monkey.
I've seen that sequence. That's about the only thing I've seen from that film.
My God, Willie Scott is annoying. The girl.
What? Short Round.
Oh. Yeah.
Well, I meant the girl in that. Remember Spielberg's Cape Catchall plays the blonde in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Nice lady, but she's really annoying in that movie.
Well, she did marry the director, so...
Oh, yeah. I think Family Guy pointed out really funny. She screamed, "Oh, Indy!" Says, "You're only in here because you're humping director." Stewie from Coach Stewie's Short Round from that. But, yeah. Hey, while we're on kind of the moral gray area, well, not moral gray area, but that's kind of coming out of nowhere. But I mean, we're kind of broaching some heroes that, they've kind of shot some people and stuff.
Oh,
like RoboCop and
stuff.
And stuff, especially.
It's the hand stuff that's the scary part.
Yes, and stuff. But, maybe we should go to some anti-heroes.
Okay. Top
Both
of my
comics
list.
and off the page and on the page. Let me start.
Well,
My favorite Marvel character is this character, Deadpool.
I still haven't seen any of his stuff, so except for that thing that isn't Deadpool in Wolverine.
Yeah. Want to give only the first 20 minutes is Deadpool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Wade Wilson. That's him without the mask. So that's Deadpool. Deadpool's just really... He's a great character. In a nutshell, what I like about Deadpool was my first introduction to the guy from the Hulk vs. Wolverine animated short. It was Deadpool made me laugh so much, but it really sold me on the character in that moment was that he's a guy who really loves what he does. And it's really a terrific thing. He's just treating it like fun. You know, he's a mercenary. He's an assassin. Really mercenary. He gets paid to kill people. And it's still a dark thing, but he's just having such a blast doing it. He's making you laugh also. I was doing it, and then later on in the comics, you get more familiar with the comics and the character. It's this mundane job in which he does jobs for money. It's like kind of this. It's kind of this relatability. He's kind of in the middle. He's like morally in the middle. He can't be all a hero and all a villain. He's on the line. He's just doing jobs for money. Whether the heroes hire him or the villains hire him, he can't be one thing entirely. He has to be in the middle. Which that mixed with he loves what he does and he's entertaining as heck is kind of why I love the character in a nutshell.
Okay.
I'm going to come down on the opposite and say Wolverine. And the reason I like him is because he doesn't really like what he does. He's always trying to find peace.
Well, he is the best at it. He is the best at what he does.
True. Just what he does isn't very nice.
Yeah. However,
that could almost be like a catch line.
Almost. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, actually, I disagree with you. I think he's still a hero, just with a dark past.
Well, we're talking about anti-heroes, so...
Well, I don't think Wolverine's an anti-hero, though.
Oh.
I think he is... I know he's pushing the line, but... It's like when he's with the X-Men, he doesn't kill. So when he is really Wolverine, he doesn't kill.
Yeah, I tend to prefer solo Wolverine stories anyway, I guess. So.
I'll give you that. When he's solo, he's an anti-hero. It's just when he's working with the X-Men, working on teams, then he's a hero. I don't know. So I guess he went from anti-hero to hero.
Yeah.
Maybe he's a little bit of both, but I think really when he's solo, he is an anti-hero. He killed people in the samurai stories, so yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like Deathstroke a lot.
I'm going to say Deathstroke is trumped by Deadpool, but yeah, Deathstroke's also cool. I love when they interact, because Deathstroke's always like, why won't you die? Because I hate you so much. Love you too, buddy! That's what Deadpool would say to him.
I like the Punisher.
You would classify him as an anti-hero?
Very much so.
Yeah, I also classify him as an anti-hero.
I classify him as a villain.
Fair enough, but
I'm just going off from what I saw in the first, the
Thomas Jane film or the Dolph Lundgren film?
No, not the Dolph Lundgren, Thomas Jane film.
Okay.
Yeah, in there he's definitely more of an anti-hero. I'm thinking more just what he's like in the comics.
Yeah, well, if he's any worse in the comics, then yeah.
I call him not a villain because he's killing bad people. So he can't entirely be a villain because he's killing only bad people. He's not killing any good guys. He's making a point not to kill the good guys, at least not intentionally.
But I mean, just because you kill in the right direction doesn't mean that you're necessarily a hero.
Exactly. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying that as long as he's not killing, I guess.
I think what it comes down to is motivations, and his motivation is punishing people. It's not saving people.
Yeah, it's not. You're right. I guess in that regard, you're right. He can't. I don't think he can entirely be a villain. I don't know. It's hard to go into. It's just I don't think he's. You're right. He isn't. Now I think about it, he isn't saving people.
That's the thing. It's like I see him as a villain who happens to have his own book and who happens to kill bad people, but he's still a villain. I mean, there are plenty of cases where there are villains that go after worse people, but like the heroes still have to stop them.
Yeah.
Heart of Ice is like that.
I mean, Punisher's a character who recognizes, I shouldn't kill the bad guys, or I'm not going to kill the bad guys. Did I just say bad? I meant good guys.
Yeah.
Punisher is a character.
I shouldn't kill bad guys.
I should. Punisher's a character who realizes I shouldn't kill the good guys, and I'm not going to kill the good guys. I'm saying that he's not killing the guys, and if he gets like cornered by a cop, he's going to try not to kill him. He might punch the guy to get out of there, but he's not going to kill him. So I think that's kind of what separates him from being completely a villain. But he's definitely not a hero. But
I mean, villains still have moral codes too. I mean, Magneto's an example of that.
Well, you have to recognize the good if you're going to kill the bad guys, you're going to punish them. You have to recognize the good. And he's kind of, in a way, he is protecting people. In a way, so that's the whole punishment angle. He's doing it to get revenge, yes, but also he's punishing them to just protect all the good people in the world.
I'd say I'd put also on this list of anti-heroes because he has killed and he probably will again. The Doctor, Doctor Who.
He's killed Doctor Who?
No, the Doctor from Doctor Who.
Oh, wait.
Wait, Punisher kills Doctor Who.
Well, he has met Archie. Well, would you kind of meet me halfway on that, enthusiast, about Punisher?
Agree to disagree on that.
What about you, Magpie?
Well, like I said,
as
an anti-hero as far as in the movie that I have seen. I haven't seen Warzone, so as far as that, I'll agree. As far as in movie form, he is an anti-hero. As far as comic book form, I haven't read it, but I'll probably come down on enthusiast side on that one.
I don't know. I just say that he's intentionally he's killing bad guys that really do deserve it, and he's really he's killing the bad guys that deserve it. He's not killing the heroes, not killing the good people, and it is kind of the service of mission that is just kill all the bad people in the world. Then again, it's how he views the good and the bad, but I think it's morally it's just.
The thing I don't, and that's the thing is if you read like Garth Ennis's run on the Punisher, the thing we find out is like Frank Castle's a tremendously broken person.
Yes.
And he's not. I mean, the whole thing is like his family got shot, and so he decides to go kill bad people. Well, that's not really it. It's more he uses that as an excuse to continue the thing that he just found in the Vietnam War that he likes to do, and that's kill people. It's really just the whole Punisher shtick is just a pretension. He likes killing, and so motivation wise, that's kind of the thing. Is like I don't think there's anything heroic about that.
Well, what if he takes that need, if he directs it in the right direction, does that make him a bad guy? If he's intentionally, like, not just killing, if he's just killing bad people, he's using that gift, not saying gift, but I mean that ability. If he's using that ability, just directing it in the right direction of just killing the bad guys, if you have the sensational need to kill, and you're just turning it towards the bad ones, does that make him completely a villain?
Look, that's a problem because I don't think any hero should kill. I think it should, but
Nor do I. That's why he's an anti-hero.
Yeah, but like
superheroes at least.
At least the Doctor in Doctor Who, when he has killed, it's usually because he's given the villain a chance to give up and run away. But usually he's done, like, especially in Tennant's run. I've noticed this. It's one story where he doesn't kill, but he puts all these bad people in situations where they're going to suffer for a long, long, long time, and it's just like, it's far worse than killing them. And that's why he's at least giving them a chance to get away and not. From what I'm hearing, it just sounds like the Punisher's just looking for an excuse to kill, and it does help that he's putting it in the right direction, but it just sounds like it's a bloodbath, and like it's the same reason that I like that. Story in Red Hood, under the Red Hood, where Batman is faced with a situation of killing the Joker, and he doesn't do it. He finds a way out of it. And he says it would be so easy to kill Joker, but if he crosses that line, he's just becoming a monster. And I feel like, well, it sounds to me like
Punisher's definitely done that.
Punisher's a monster, done and dusted. But it might be a hero that some people want, is someone that goes out there and does shoot people.
But it's just they don't realize how monstrous that really is.
That's the thing, is like Frank Castle too realizes that he is a monster, and I think he thinks at the end of the day like he's going to have to be punished.
Yeah. I guess overall, in a nutshell, I like the Punisher more, and I see the Punisher as an anti-hero, the version that's just the kind of the introduction without the backstory, and that he just needs to kill. It's just the Punisher that he's killing bad guys, just getting information so he can stop like a public menace, or guys who are like destroying a neighborhood, destroying, like dealing like drug dealers and stuff. Like not that one without the baggage, one without like we find out in Born Again he was just likes killing people. That's like in Suicide Kings, where he's going after Deadpool because Deadpool's framed for a crime. Like that sort of thing. Like he sees like a guy who blew up a building, he's going after him. Because he blew up a building, he's a terrorist. That, I guess, that's the anti-hero Punisher. It's like two different Punishers, if you will. It's one when they add all this back, so he needs to kill. And he's directing it. I guess it's two different things, really, but that's the one I like. Just the one killing, just as a service to, get rid of the bad guys.
Yeah.
Either way, that's anti-hero.
I'll agree to disagree with you on this.
Fair enough. We can respect your opinions, both of you gentlemen. But want to talk supporting characters for a bit? Favorite supporting characters?
Sure. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, I think we all know who mine is.
Commissioner Gordon.
You're correct, sir. You won the $1 million prize.
You can send that to me in the mail. I've already got. All right, so hurry up.
Keep in mind, it's monopoly money, but it's $1 million.
Oh well, that's no good.
It's also Canadian monopoly.
But I think it's still even worse, because I think the Aussie dollar is a bit better than the Canadian dollar at the moment.
It's useless on two levels. But Commissioner Gordon is just the character ever since Batman the Animated Series, just this kind of the authority figure that's the human version. Again, human in that Batman's like the pinnacle of what we can do as humans. So he's the best human physically and mentally. He's like sharpened to the point of perfection. Batman. Mm-hmm. And just Gordon's like the human version of Batman, just doing all he can, having been in Gotham. Doing all he can to preserve order in Gotham without kind of crossing the line. Not that Batman's crossed like the line, but just crossing the line that going outside the law, bending the rules, as Batman has. Just this authority figure, and that's all I recognize in the animated shows. He's like this figure, it's kind of justifying why we need Batman, but still he's following the law, and he's allowing Batman to work with him so he can help preserve order in this chaotic city. I guess that's what I really like about Commissioner Gordon. Then, of course, I get validated in my like of him, which is all this great stuff about Year One, and the endearing character. And again, he's working with Batman, he's working with the hero, and he's just helping out the guy who helps out others. And he's a good cop. He's the most honest cop in Gotham, which is really endearing character, I think. And
not afraid to use a ball bat.
What?
Year One, he uses a ball bat on one of the...
Oh, yeah. He beats up Flash.
Yeah. Which is good. Which is awesome. And, of course, that ending the Year One was great.
Yeah.
Where he saves the kid. Saves James Jr. Well, okay. I mean, where Batman saves James Jr. says, can't see a darn thing without my glasses. You better get going. That's the first, and it's funny because it's basically Gordon okaying the bat exit. He doesn't realize it's going to come back to haunt him. It's like, yeah, get out of here. And then later on he's going to say, I hate it when he does that. Disappears mid-sentence. It's a wonderful. It's my favorite running gag. My favorite scenes are the Batman Gordon meeting scenes. Again, it's just Gordon serves a purpose. He gives Batman some information in the case. He's helping Batman on his end, and Batman's helping him on his end. It's just really, man, it's nuts over it. I just like it really a lot. Enthusiast, care to weigh in on Gordon?
Yeah, I really like the character.
Me too. Okay.
Superman characters?
Does Lois Lane count as a supporting character?
Let's save her for love interest, and we'll get to them right after this.
Okay.
Magpie, do you have one?
Oh, well, as far as the show Lois and Clark goes, I really did like both Jimmy Olsen's in that. I really did. I thought they were both really cool. Although I liked what they did with the second one throughout his run. Although I do like the first season Lois and Clark much better than second and third and fourth. But yeah, I like Jimmy Olsen. I like Perry White.
Okay, Enthusiast, you were saying?
Well, you mean as far as Superman goes, or just any supporting character?
Well, first Superman, then any supporting character.
Yeah, I mean Perry White and Jimmy Olsen definitely. I like Kellex the robot in the Fortress of Solitude.
Oh, do you mean it's one of the Superman robots, right?
I think so. It depends. I think how it's.
I mean, there's
depicted.
There's like a bunch of Superman robots. There's the one that's in Doomsday. Is that the one you're talking about, or?
I think that's who's in that.
Yeah,
he's in the comics, but.
Yeah.
Other than Superman,
Well, I got a few outside of.
Let me say this: why did we like Jimmy Olsen and Perry White?
Jimmy Olsen in the show is always really helpful, and they did occasionally try and give him some depth, and I like it where, especially when you got a TV show, you got to give your side characters some depth as well as your main characters. I really liked how they did that in Deep Space Nine, especially. I think that's one of the best examples. They gave Miles O'Brien, who was just a transporter guy in Next Generation, a real character. They did that with Jake, even though he appeared in only about half the episodes of the series, I think. But especially that I was watching an episode last night where Jake was the main character of that story, and he was dealing with the fact that he ran away and left the doctor to Dr. Bashir to die. And he was dealing with that, and he was trying to, he even ran into a soldier that was hurt, and he was going to try and help him. And oh, look, I ran away, but I saved a guy, but he couldn't even save that guy, so he ends up coming back, and he's just dealing with the fact that he was a coward, and I don't like to use that because but he sort of says at the end, at one time it meant running away, and one time it meant picking up a phaser to live. So he was just going to do whatever it took. And
go ahead.
I've still got a few more to mention. I like a lot of the companions in the Doctor Who series that I've seen. I really liked Sarah Jane, and I'm glad she got her own show. I liked Captain Jack from Doctor Who, and I'm glad he got his own show. Don't hate Rose, but she's not one of my favorites. But I like that they made her a badass later on, after she left the show. I liked, what's her name? The Rebound companion, sorry, I can't remember her name. And I really liked, especially all the ones in Tennis Row, like the ones Amy and Rory in Matt Smith's, and I'm liking Clara Oswald in the new one. So those are a lot of favourite ones to run through because they just usually they do a lot of good work with in Doctor Who at the moment, especially since the relaunch. I really love it. I'm looking forward to delving further into the classic series as well.
I think Jimmy Olsen kind of reflects the.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're talking about Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah, I think Jimmy Olsen. I think Jimmy Olsen reflects the world Superman's in, kind of Superman's influence on the people of Metropolis a little bit. Which I always thought was nice. And like in Superman Doomsday, when Superman leaves, kind of Olsen's morals kind of go for a while. He kind of goes to like a tabloid paper for a while, as an example of kind of his influence.
Yeah.
Also, Olsen's just kind of this pure earnestness to just kind of approach things. So he was even in the George Reeves series.
He's a kid who hustles and is trying to, get his own career as a photographer and work his way up.
It's kind of like a non-super Clark Kent in a way.
I like Perry White though, especially in the show where he's it's in Lois and Lane where it's this great shades of Elvis instead, great Caesar's ghost.
Perry White is kind of the equivalent to Jim Gordon. He's always compared to that. I would agree with that to a certain degree, in that he's the authority in Superman's world. In that he's at the day job, and he's kind of like his character is really likable. He's like I think Perry White's a very fun character. He's a little extreme, but in the best way. So, great Caesar's ghost! What's happening, Lane? Get on that story. He is kind of providing the same role that Jim Gordon does, kind of, with the whole newspaper and with his job as editor. He's kind of sending Kent on assignments, or like, providing news for him he's Superman, if you will. Information so he can go around and help people. Like, seeing what Star Labs is on, that's his cover. So, Perry White kind of serves that Gordon role, and that he's helping Superman out in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's more unknowing role. And Olsen, Olsen is, I say Olsen's like Clark Kent, what I mean is like he's like the version Clark Kent is trying to be.
Mm.
He's like the facade that Clark Kent is, only he's actually lives that. He's being a yes man, the Lois Lane, just that kind of the ace reporter angle to him.
I like the relationship that they gave Jimmy and Perry in the Lois and Clark series, where they were kind of like father and son. But eventually they got like pushed further and further into the background. It was like really frustrating. Because to me, I always looked at Lois and Clark as more of an ensemble show than it was just Lois and Clark. Like, granted, they're the tile characters, and that's where the main focus of the series should be.
It's always a nice angle to play with Jimmy and Perry.
Yeah, I think there was opportunities to do stuff with them that they never did.
Not the platypus.
Okay.
What?
Sorry.
What about the platypus?
Perry, not the platypus. Phineas and Ferb, Perry the platypus. It's a dumb joke.
I don't know the reference.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Sorry. But yeah, the relationship between Perry White and Jimmy Olsen is it's good. Like, he takes pity on the kid, and he gives him a job, and he's kind of he doesn't badmouth him or anything. He's just kind of he treats him like exactly as you said, Enthusiast and Magpie. You said he's earning the paycheck. He's going there rushing for Mr. White, getting the coffee. Give me some coffee. Give Mr. White some coffee. That's that sort of thing. He's working hard at the job. And, Perry White, you get a feeling Perry White really likes the kid there. He's just going to act kind of curmudgeon. He's like, go get in here. Why am I paying you $40 an hour if I have arrested for loitering? My grandfather's favorite line. Perry White. Next to that, and he loves all the Otisburg, and he loves Otis and Lex Luthor's report in that movie. Especially Otisburg, which is a hilarious gag. Otisburg? It's a small place. Miss Testmaster's got a place. Otisburg? Well, I mean, if she gets some Blanchard night, Otisburg, I'll erase it. It's really, really, really funny. One of my, I'm sorry, Enthusiast, do you have any other characters to add?
You mean supporting characters?
Yes.
Yeah.
In general, it doesn't matter, live action or comics or...
Alfred comes to mind.
Oh, that's a good one. Jarvis?
Does like sidekicks count as supporting characters?
Well, technically no, but we can mention him anyway.
Mm. Well, I'll say Microchip is a good supporting character in Punisher.
Yeah, that's a supporting character.
Watson in Sherlock Holmes.
You talking Sherlock from Sherlock Holmes, or just or could we I like Watson in Sherlock.
I do too. Yeah, I guess if I had to pick a specific one, it would be him.
Oh, yeah.
I like Watson.
Martin Freeman.
I like the movie version with Robert Downey Jr. I also like the Elementary. It's on TV with female Watson.
Did you see the season finale of that yet?
I did. I really enjoy Elementary. I haven't watched Sherlock because I don't have any access to it. I hear it's good, but I think either way, I think it's like another too much Sherlock to get into. I think just the movie and the show's enough.
I haven't watched a lot of it. I'll have to look it up, and I might watch some more of it because
I recommend Elementary. It's
I just like David Cumberbatch in that. I haven't seen Into Darkness yet because I really didn't like 2009 movie at all. Really, I was like, the first 10 minutes of it was all right, where that battle was happening, and then after that, I was like, oh God, what are you doing?
There's this. There's this. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I just want to get this rant out of the way. And then they get to the end, and I was like, oh, okay, good, we're nearly in. And then they do one more worse thing. They promote him cadet to captain. I'm like, hang on, how does that work?
It doesn't.
Oh.
Yeah, Into Darkness was not really great. I mean, it was a significant improvement, but like a significant improvement over crap is still not very good.
I didn't see Into Darkness. I'm not a big Star Trek fan. Nothing against the medium, it's just I just never got into it. So I hear the Abrams movies aren't good from the diehard Star Trek fans. Is that correct, gentlemen?
Mm-hmm.
True.
They're not really good films, period.
Really? Is it because they're trying to aim for like a Star Wars thing?
Since First Contact, they were like, First Contact did really well. Okay, we must copy that every single time.
Pretty much.
I hear Captain Logan likes them. You get anything you like to weigh on in that?
That's not the impression that I've gotten from discussing it with him. So
really? Well, I mean, I don't know. What I gathered, Star Trek film.
I think he's more forgiving, and I think he was very impressed by Into Darkness. I think just more from the perspective of after 2009, you're just kind of expecting complete crap, and then it was like on the lower, it was kind of like, it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't good really either. So it's kind of like, if you have really low expectations, it being kind of half decent is, going to seem more impressive.
I know that my grandmother, she's a Star Trek fan, especially The Next Generation with Picard. Mm-hmm. Anyway, she watches the Abrams movie. She's, a forgiving critic. Just really, it depends. If it's really bad, she'll notice. But if it's not too bad, it's up to interpretation for her. But anyway, she sees the Star Trek film. She tells me that one scene because she likes Spock in these new movies also. She likes original Spock, but she also likes this Spock. And the scene she pointed out to me was the scene where he's like almost kills a guy for information. Like he needs him like to save Kirk. Like Uhura contacts Spock. Well, he gets teleported to a plane. He's basically going through all these guys. And he's about to kill this one guy. He says, "No, keep him alive. We need to save Kirk. He has information to save Kirk."
Oh, you're talking about Into Darkness.
Yeah, Into Darkness. I mean.
Oh.
Yeah. See, I don't like Spock in these movies because
he's too emotional.
Well, that's the thing. It's like occasionally Spock would get extremely emotional, but like
there was usually wasn't there usually a reason for it?
There was a reason, and it was the exception to the norm. And then in these films, it's like it's the norm, so it's not really that character anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, what the heck? Like, how many times in the series did he say, "I'm not capable of that emotion"?
A lot.
Yeah,
Pretty much every episode.
There's this episode of CSI that just cracks me up. It's a parody of Star Trek. The whole episode. It's called A Space Oddity, and I like CSI, the Vegas one, mind you.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I'm just saying. I don't know if you guys probably don't watch it or.
I
didn't even know I didn't even know there was one set in. You mean the original one?
Yeah,
okay.
the original one.
That's what I mean. You guys have seen it a little? Or?
Yeah, I've seen a few episodes. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Grissom, the character, and I like Lawrence Fishburne. So basically, up until that point, I'm on the show. Otherwise, I don't watch it anymore.
And then they brought Ted Danson on board?
Yeah, I don't watch the Ted Danson stuff. So up until the Ted Danson stuff, I watched the show, and I don't watch it anymore. Unless they miraculously bring back Grissom or Lawrence Fishburne's character, which won't happen.
Okay.
Just they're losing people and stuff. Anyway, so Hodges is a really funny character on the show. He's a good supporting character. You kind of rein it back in. But Hodges is always an interesting character, and I love his. A lot of people say they love the Grissom-Sarah relationship. I love the Hodges-Wendy relationship, that little cute lab tech that's in there. She's the DNA lady who aspires to be out in the field. And there's this episode where they parody classic Star Trek. It's like the original Star Trek, only they're dressed like Picard with the colors. So he's like Captain Kirk, but he's dressed as like red Picard colors. For the shirt.
So, yeah.
It's like a maroon red or just regular red.
Cool.
Anyway, so yeah, and she was dressed like all the. There's you guys will know this better than I do. My grandmother brought it up to me when we were watching it, but we also watched CSI together. She likes the show too. There's some sort of collar. Kirk flirts with this one alien. They have these like collars on. It's like the whole thing about selecting your own mates. And Kirk gets teleported from this. Kirk gets teleported from this planet, but she has to stay there.
Yeah.
No, nothing.
I can't remember that episode.
It's like an original one.
Yeah, I don't think it's one I've seen.
Okay, fair enough. Forgive my tangent on that. Just the point is, that episode was real funny. A lot of classic throwback Star Trek, and the main story was this guy was killed because he made a crappy reboot of Star Trek.
Also, it's the story of how someone killed J.J. Abrams.
It is. It is.
Might have to watch that.
You guys it's kind of a parody of that. It might have been after Star Trek was released. To be honest with you.
So it is the true story.
What year was Star Trek released? 2009.
Yeah. Star Trek 2009 was released in Star Trek 2009.
I can't believe that they screwed me with that trailer. I was so excited.
Yeah.
And Eric Bana being a part of it, I don't hate Eric Bana as an actor, but he was wasted in that movie. Oh.
I mean, Nero's not even really a character.
Yeah.
It might have been released like the year of the Star Trek, so I don't know if they were acknowledging that or not. No. So it's an episode called A Space Oddity.
Yeah. I'll have to check it out.
So it is kind of funny. So basically, yeah, the guy makes a reboot. It's really different than the show. The show's like classic Star Trek. This one's like it has guns in it, and it's like the guy's breaking down emotionally and crying, and there's this guy in the audience just stands up, and it's like a live feed from it's like some guy recorded the panel in which the footage was being shown, and he says, "Dude, you suck." Yeah. And then they boo the guy, and later on he's dead on the floor. Find out someone killed him.
I think the problem with a lot of films, especially after First Contact, because the film industry, it sort of feeds off success, and like that once they find a format that works, they just run with it. Yeah. Like, I don't mind if that you're going to have a space battle or something, but there has to be some sort of emotional anchor behind that. I want to care why this battle's going on or something, and especially with 2009, I wasn't caring. And like when they blew up Vulcan, it was like oh, I was like, fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it, because I thought it was going to be like a lot of the shows where they would go back in time and stop it from happening.
They fly around the planet real fast and spin it backwards.
No, they would fly around the sun and then
my whole effect.
Oh, yeah, so that's the difference.
Yeah, my whole thing for well, you go faster than the speed of light, so it sort of transports you in time. There is a theory behind it.
Oh, did you hear about what they're doing with the? It's Gene Roddenberry, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you hear about doing him and his wife? They're sending him into space, like Spock.
How?
How?
They're both dead.
I mean, their ashes, Magpie.
I thought they already did that to Gene Roddenberry's ashes.
Did they?
Oh, did they?
I think I think they planned on it. I think finally they're now doing it. I heard about it recently, about this whole ash firing around the sun thing. And if not, then I guess they're sending his wife then also.
Mm.
If they didn't do it to him already, then I thought they were doing it to both of them, sending them both around the.
I liked her as the voice of the computer in Next Generation and all that.
Take that for what you will. It was an interesting thing that sending the guy into space like the character did. It was kind of a nice goodbye.
I didn't really like her as Luxana Troy. I always like.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
So yeah, that
except for that one scene, I forget what it was. Just before they got to Best of Both Worlds, where she's been kidnapped by the Ferengi, and Picard has to show his love for her. like that's hysterically funny because he's like.
He hates
and then he goes up there and he says, set a course for Beta Z. Whoop, 9. like,
so essentially... Classic. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, that's a classic. That's a classic funny moment from... That's good Star Trek comedy. Like, normally they don't do it really well. But I was watching an episode of Deep Space Nine, and there was sort of an inside joke that they reference in that episode where Major Kira is pregnant, and she says to Dr. Bashir, this is all your fault. And they pause for a moment in there, and he goes, my fault? It's because actually that's his... that's... how do you pronounce his name again? Alexander
Siddig.
And that advises that was their child, so they had to kind of write that into the show, and they did a great job of it, by the way. That was a good way of incorporating a pregnancy into the show.
Yeah, you can come up with a crazy sci-fi explanation for it.
Yeah, so, I think it was a lot better than what they did with Angel, where all of a sudden you realize, what's her face? Cordelia was pregnant. Mind you, they'd been shooting her from the head, the chest up most of the series. Oh, because that was hard. Season 4 of Angel was really hard to get through. And I really like Angel a lot more now than I do Buffy. But that was horrible, especially when they bring Jasmine into it. I was like, oh god, just hurry up and end this already. And get to season 5, which was actually quite good because I knew Spike was coming. Because I've seen a couple of episodes of that. By the way, back to supporting characters, I really like a lot of the supporting cast in Angel. I liked Fred, even though that woman desperately needs a meal. I liked Cordelia in that, and I liked Spike in that, and I like him in Buffy as well. And I like Gunn as well. I think most of the cast in that was really well. I liked a lot of the cast from Buffy as well. I like Warehouse 13, the supporting cast in that a lot more than I like the main 3 people.
But yeah, that CSI thing I was mentioning, just to kind of wrap up on that.
Yeah.
It was kind of an exaggeration of the show, and
I got
that
the
whole start. I'm sorry, what?
I got the concept. It's a parody of Star Trek.
I mean, it was an exaggeration. The whole reboot thing was like an exaggeration of worth killing the guy over. Anyway, that.
Yeah, oh, actually, I could see someone going crazy and killing J.J. Abrams and both the writers of that. But yeah, really.
It's a fun parody, and also that Wendy Sims character is real cute. And they dress her up like all the different like classic Star Trek ladies. Like she's a belly dancer at one point, and then she's wearing like the Uhura uniform. She's cute. I like that relationship between her and Hodge. Just good supporting characters, and they're basically in every episode. Unfortunately, the girl left at some point, so they kind of lost their relationship. But anyway, a few supporting characters. Should we talk some Pixar supporting characters for a bit?
I don't really have anything to offer there, but
neither do I. Neither do I really. Like usually, the cast they do a good job with. Also, they're usually great supporting cast. All there.
What about Jay and Silent Bob?
You mean the Kevin Smith films? Yeah.
Yes.
They're all pretty good. I really like it. One thing I would say about Kevin Smith, he does know how to write women. So they're human. Hang on a sec.
Well, what about Jay and Silent Bob? I think they're good if they're using the right amount of doses, and they are kind of heroic, kind of reeling it back to the overall topic. Especially in Mallrats and in Mallrats and Dogma. They're really heroic in Dogma, I think. They're going to the defense of the female character, and even though they're really not going to help that much, but the effort's appreciated. Jason Mewes is just there doing jokes. Oh, Silent Bob's doing all the work, which I think is funny. Yeah. Also, one supporting character I have to mention, even though you guys probably aren't going to know who that... I know you guys don't know who the heck she is, so don't feel bad.
Oh, okay.
Sandy Brandenburg. I kind of make it a point to mention her because she's I'm sorry, what?
What's she from?
Deadpool.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just going to mention it just for the video and such. Just kind of mention I really like this character. She's in the Deadpool comic. She's basically at Deadpool's most successful point in his career. He was basically everyone was contacting this guy for mercenary services. They call him. And basically, he kind of turned he refurbished this old SHIELD base into an office. It was like you go into a barber shop, it turns underneath a base, which SHIELD would do a lot. They would take a donut shop and they turn it into like a SHIELD base underneath. So basically, they took that. Basically, Sandy Brandenburg was Deadpool's secretary and bookkeeper. She was just really pleasant, really nice, but also she was a strong Joss Whedon-y female character. She was like a Joss Whedon character in that she took care of Deadpool. Deadpool would come in battered and bruised. She'd patch him up, even though he would heal himself. But like, there's this point where like some of his bones are removed, and she has to put him back in there. Again, she's a strong character. She's well drawn, and in the Udon style, I mean, she is well drawn. Into the hint. So beautiful character, both on the inside and the outside. Good character. Even when Deadpool left for a while, she was there, and she was kind of one of the driving forces of that book, and I think she gets overlooked a lot. Because she's never been brought back. She was brought back in Cable and Deadpool, and never since then. And I really want that character to resurface because I really like her character. And again, she got things done. And, we felt bad for her. She was in, like, an abusive relationship at one point with this guy. And there was a nice moment where she asked Deadpool not to kill the guy, and he didn't. And he just beat the crap out of him, saying, leave her alone. She was put in a hospital bed. Deadpool would say, I noticed that you can stop trying to hide that black eye. We're going to talk later. That sort of stuff. It was good. She's a really good, well-rounded character, I think. That's all I'll say about her. I recommend her. Like, looking her up sometimes. Good character. Anyway. But supporting characters, the GCPD have a lot of good supporting characters.
Oh yeah, Batman's usually great at supporting characters.
I love good cop characters, and in Elementary, I love Captain Gregson. He kind of reminds me of Jim Gordon, and again, just these authority figures who are genuinely good cops. I guess it's kind of a thing that maybe because of Gordon, I kind of value that in like CSI and stuff. Just Good cop characters always do.
You and your police fetish.
Oh, it's not a police fetish. I'm saying if there's a cop character, I want him to be good and well-rounded, like Gordon. It's not just like the stuffy, incompetent guy, but he's like Sam and Twitch for Captain Logan is Commissioner Gordon for me. Yeah. I guess you want to go into love interest or?
Oh, I can spend all day here.
You
Love it.
could. Okay, let's set the parameters. No Natalie Portman.
Oh, come on!
An enthusiast, no towel girls from Batman Beyond.
What? Oh, jeez. You're the one who kept bringing it up.
I know, I'm kidding. I'm sorry. You're right. I have no room to talk. Enthusiast, I apologize.
Yeah, especially, geez, Magpie, when you listen to some of our show, geez, Blue Dragon just has the dirtiest mind.
Oh, it is. You know it's incidental.
You and your way of phrasing things.
You did it a few times, too.
Yeah.
I'll admit the Ra's al Ghul inside the daughter. That's a little... It's not my fault.
That's sick, man!
But it happened on screen. It's not my fault, I swear.
Ra's al Ghul should never...
well, it happens 50 years from now, so go in the time stream, Marty. But it's but yeah, how can we help it? Bruce Timm draws these women so well.
Yeah. I love how he draws Barbara Gordon, by the way.
Yeah. I'm not even going to get into the whole disturbing connotations of his relationship with Barbara Gordon. Batman's relationship with Barbara Gordon.
Oh, that was weird.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Yeah,
I know, and I know that they were like, well, of course it's wrong. Well, yeah, well, why go there?
Exactly.
Yeah, it used to not bother me, but now I think back, and of course, last time I'll say it, I know I keep hammering, I'm trying to break myself with this habit. Gordon fan, yeah.
I don't think you're trying to break your habit.
I'm not doing it well. It's one step at a time.
I would feel really
Need a Gordon patch.
Yeah, I'd feel really upset if I didn't mention one of my favorites, current favorite relationships, the Doctor and River song. That's been handled really well, and I don't. The thing is, I don't want it to end. I really want Alex Kingston back for an entire season, another entire season, traveling with the Doctor, because their relationship. I don't know if. I know BlueDragonFive hasn't seen this, but I really would love a whole season with the two of them traveling and exploring their relationship, because that's the one thing we've gotten glimpses. That's about it. We've gotten glimpses, and I just really want to see an entire season where it ends. I know it'll be kind of continuity problem, but it ends with them going to their final place before she has to go traveling off to the library. Because the weird thing about their relationship is where it begins for the Doctor is where it ends for her, and midway through you find out who River really is, and it's just really a great story throughout. So it's really it's been a great run. I just really wish we'd gotten some more time with it.
I guess it's just that I figure if you like something, why not be unabashed about it, you know? I like Gordon, I like gadgets. Why not just mention it?
You like Ra's al Ghul and his daughter.
Oh, would you stop?
That's a
okay,
bad place to go. Bad place.
Well, enthusiasts, feel free to bring up anything like that. And you've had a few references like that.
Do you remember them though?
Yeah, I think you phrased the Gordon Bat. Oh God. I think you phrased Barbara Gordon and Batman's relationship a few times in some wrong manners. I know most of it's on the other end of things are mine, but I think you've mentioned it a few times misphrasingly.
Well, in what respect?
What?
You're the one who kept saying that she was dreaming of Bane.
Well, technically she was. So I'm not doing this on purpose, folks. I'm not. Don't blame me.
Sure.
Oh God, that
Pervert.
We got Magpie over here. Guy who obsesses over Natalie.
What I'm done with you, Bob Laguna.
Oh, you stop. Show some decorum, Magpie. Yeah. Yeah. It's Magpie rubbing. It's Magpie's influence on me.
I'm not the dirty, filthy boy.
Yeah, I guess it's
Dirty,
Magpie's
filthy
influence
man.
on me, superhero enthusiasts. Folks, blame Magpie for all of that. I really gotta try this. I gotta really try to think about these things beforehand.
You're like Tobias on Arrested Development.
I suppose. I have no idea what that means, but I suppose.
He phrases things. He phrases things in the most hilarious way, and it makes him come across as gay. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, just unabashed about the things you love. However, these misphrasings are just they are hilarious, though. You have to admit that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can tell by the enthusiasts' reactions to them that they are hilarious. Given that be my misfortune.
I'm trying to think which was that the Batman, the first Batman Beyond one that we did.
I know we did it today with the worst.
Yeah, I know, but what was the first one?
It might have been with might have been the second part of the first episode of Batman Beyond.
Okay.
I know, actually, strike that the first part of the. Oh, Out of the Past. It was with Out of the Past when it started, so it must be in the first part then.
Okay.
I'm going to see some more of that show, because I've only seen a few episodes here and there, but, because, like, Aussie TV, and that was really, especially the way Cartoon Network was run when that was on, was, like, crazy. It was all over the place when Batman Beyond was on. And I wasn't, I was constantly trying to get into it.
We all have characters that we're unabashed about to some degree. Would you agree, fellas?
Yeah.
Well, who would those characters be for you? Would Doctor Who for you, Magpie?
At the moment, yeah, Doctor Who would definitely be there.
Enthusiast?
I want to mention, too, another character I really like, but he's from Star Trek, is Tom Paris. I really like Tom Paris. Because that's the one character in all of Star Trek I can relate to a lot.
Enthusiast? A character you're unabashed about, who you love? Or something you really like you bring up when you can?
Wonder Woman.
Yes, Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I'm a big Wonder Woman fan. So.
I think you've had, most of your references are with Magpie, though. But then again, you're not wearing pants during that time, so you can't really judge me that much,
What?
I think you can't judge me, Magpie, and you can't judge me either, Enthusiast.
I'm wearing pants.
I'm
not talking to Milan.
No, I meant...
Yeah.
Wait, no, I'm sorry. I phrased that wrong, too. I meant Enthusiast.
You just think so? You Aussies are the same.
I'm wearing
BlueDragonFive. Pervert and a racist.
Hey. Not all Aussies are racist.
No, I think BlueDragonFive was. He can't tell any of you apart.
I can tell them apart. I'm thinking of other events now. Darn it, you mixed
Milan is Russian. Russian Australian.
Milan's Russian.
Russian Australian. I'm just I'm full blown Australian.
Well, I mean the enthusiast.
Full blown makes it sound like it's a condition.
What?
Well, it kind of is. I constantly have to drink and smoke.
Well, I mean, the enthusiast has been on the No Pants podcast with Milan, so he hasn't had much room to talk. Okay, forgive me for the misspoking.
Well, yeah, we need to do another one of those shows with Milan at some point.
You do.
Those are fun.
What do you think the next topic would be with you guys?
I think we were going to do Batman and music.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Because we did Wonder Woman and Bondage, and we did Superman and
See, how can you say
Rob.
Wonder Woman in bondage and judge me?
Well, because that's what the character's about.
Yeah.
I didn't create Wonder Woman and put in all those bondage themes.
No, I didn't do the whole thing with Out of the Past either.
And I suppose.
Fair enough. I'm sorry if I sound like I'm judging you. I'm not. I'm not judging you either, Magpie, for your love of Natalie Portman. I hope you guys don't judge me for my misspeaking and love of Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah, the secret is that the baby she just had is actually mine.
She had a baby recently?
Natalie Portman, yeah. She had a little boy.
Name?
I forget. I don't think that. I can't remember. They gave it. I forget what they named it.
Is he Kirk?
No, I can't remember.
Son.
Is it like Luke
No.
or Leia or something?
No, I can't remember. Just because she's not, like, despite the fact of
Did
being
she
in
die
Star Wars,
after
she was.
birth?
No, for no apparent reason, no.
She gave up the will to live.
What? Yeah, that made no sense.
She was alive. No.
I must say this again. George Lucas is a genius because he made Natalie Portman look like she couldn't act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she won an Academy Award.
Yeah, I like her in Thor.
Mm. Yeah, she's just not given enough to do in that. I'm hoping the next time she's going to get more to do. Because she's a brilliant actress.
Indeed.
Yeah. Like I said, I really want to, you asked a question of me about this in one of my Q&As, so I won't go into it too deep. I said in that, I want to see her play more bad girl roles because she did a great job in Black Swan and playing both the good girl and the bad girl. So she should really play that more often because she's only played it a few times. Like usually her problem is she gets typecast as the smart good girl character, and we really want to see her play some sort of bad girl.
You know what you should have, Magpie?
What?
You should have a show called Magpie's Love Lounge, which you just talk about. Women. You get it all out on one show. Okay, you just talk about.
Get all what out?
Get all the women frustrations out, enthusiast.
I don't think.
I mean, all the talk of women out on a show.
Dude, I don't think I could put that on YouTube.
I mean, just talk about just all the women you like on one show. You mentioned Zooey Deschanel. You can mention Natalie Portman. No, all the attractive women, all the women you like. Just mention them on a show so we don't have to hear about on our commentaries. But then again, I mentioned Gordon, so I have to have a whole Gordon podcast. And enthusiasts, what would your show be?
Wonder Woman in bondage, I guess.
Yeah. Really, that and Rises. Well, then again, you're gonna have a whole multi-part video for Rises, so.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever that will be, like 30 or 40 parts.
Yep.
However many scenes are in that movie.
It's good. It's good to love stuff, but you can tell we go too far with it sometimes. Each of us.
We were talking about love interests, and one of my favorite relationships. Quite a few of them are from Star Trek, actually. I know we keep going back to this, but there was a good one. Yeah, I think they did it really well until one of the characters left, and that was the Worf Jadzia relationship. They did that quite well, and then of course she left and then went on to be on Becca.
Going back to Ted Danson too.
Yeah, by the way, I didn't really. The more that show went on, the more I was like, oh god, this is really getting sad.
You mean CSI?
No, Becca. That was getting sad. Like the only thing that saved it was oh god, what was what was the character's name that was, what's the actress's name that played the assistant in that, the one that was kind of ditzy? She was in Saw as well. But anyway, she was on it, so that kind of helped it out. And the other, they did quite a few relationships. They did the Dr. Bashir and Jadzia one, but they finally paid that off by having him hook up
him
with
and Esri.
Yeah.
Which made more sense.
Yeah.
What about Batman and Wonder Woman?
Batman, I haven't read anything where they're together, so I don't know how that works.
It's really popular in the animated show. Batman
Yeah,
Wonder Woman relationship.
it's in the Justice League cartoon.
It's also occasionally it's in the comics, but not anymore. But right now it's Superman, Wonder Woman. But
which makes no sense.
Yeah.
When he's got a built-in character that he's supposed to fall in love with.
Yeah.
Well, she does too with Steve Trevor.
Exactly.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still like her with Batman. I always loved that in the Justice League show. It's just they played off each other well.
Yeah.
It's just for some reason it worked. I can't exactly put my finger on, but for some reason it worked.
Batman and Wonder Woman I can see getting together, and Superman and Wonder Woman I can see getting together, but more Batman because
it's like in Batman she sees all the qualities that are good in men.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like he's the epitome of what a good man is.
Yeah.
And I guess it's kind of the perfection of woman, perfection of man getting together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much, because I mean, she was kind of taught like man's world is terrible, and then here's this example of this guy who's like who's the embodiment of all of her values too.
Yeah. And Superman, it's mostly because he has powers. He's barely even human. It's more just
with Superman and Wonder Woman. It's just they're both lead characters and they both have super strength, so you don't have to bring in the question of like how would they bump uglies.
It's just see now.
Well, they brought that up in
Kevin Smith
Deep Space Nine quite a bit. I
heard a really disturbing Doctor Who joke once.
Oh, what?
It was actually, I mean, it was in a Batman comic. They made a Doctor Who reference that was really it was in the recent Grant Morrison comic.
Okay.
Not the most recent, the one right before it. It's like the one with no Batman in it, basically. It was this other hero, and he has this girlfriend who basically the girlfriend's she's small. She's like 6 inches. He basically shrinks down to take the girl on a date or have a relationship with her. Anyway, so basically they're in Japan. It's like the Batman of Japan, like the Batman all over the world thing Grant Morrison's doing.
Yeah.
So basically there are this group of assassins, I think. They're like they're women wearing motorcycle helmets, and they make like really snide comments. Don't ask me what Morrison's trying to do with it, but
yeah.
The point is, they just make snide comments and mock people while they're killing them.
Oh, okay.
So they make a joke saying, "Oh, so that's your girlfriend?" It says, "Well, how do you do that? She must be like a TARDIS on the inside." Really disturbing.
Clever.
Yeah. Kind of disturbing, though.
Another relationship I really liked was another Klingon human relationship, but it's the reverse. It's the Tom Paris B'Elanna Torres one. Yeah,
I always liked the Tom and B'Elanna relationship.
I guess there's just no interesting thing with Superman, like the best, like morally the best man and morally the best woman. I guess it's really nothing interesting with Superman and Wonder Woman for a relationship.
Well, the fact is, he's so vanilla and she's so kink. I don't get how that would work out.
Pink and vanilla?
Kink, not pink.
Oh, I thought you said pink. Like, how's pink?
No. Well, she may be. I haven't seen her under the...
Oh.
They haven't done that comic yet? I'm really surprised they haven't done that comic where you see her naked.
They haven't done that. You're right, Magpie. They have not done that. Let me ask you this, enthusiast. you're more knowledgeable in Wonder Woman than I am. So let me ask you this. So how does the bondage thing work exactly as a weakness? I mean, I know in the old comics she would be bonded and then she would be... So if I'm right in this, she would be bonded and basically she'd lose all her powers to just be bonded. How would that work?
Pretty much like you described. She gets tied up and then...
That's her weakness?
Yeah, it's a sexual thing.
She has Amazonian strength. She can just, like, break through the thing.
It's a sexual... It's very much... It sounds to me very sexual.
Because she doesn't want... Because she likes being tied up. Is what you're saying.
I always thought it was more because she likes the one... Especially with the lasso, she was the one that always liked tying up men.
Well,
that's the thing is there's the whole power dynamic and you know, people are always, like, getting the upper hand by tying the other person up. That's
kind of playing into what Wortham's saying, in a way.
Well,
Wortham always said Superman got a kick out of hurting the bad guys. That's what Wortham said. Not...
In the very, very earliest Superman stories, kind of.
Well, he was more... It was like the wife beater guy. He would stop... He would be more... Act now, think later. Hands-on with his attempts. Like, he would, like, be more forceful in getting to the big misses, because he'd crash through vaults, like, get him in there. You know, like throw the, I think he, like, crashed, like, a vault to get a guy once.
Okay.
He would be, like, grab business guys with a scruff of the neck and, like, demand they get the book thrown at him. That sort of stuff. He'd be more hands-on with the attempt, kind of without some tactfulness that he gets later on, where he has to when he deals with Lex.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Wonder Woman would be that... so does Wonder Woman even have a weakness now? Because they've had to get rid of the bondage weakness. And don't tell me the psychological implications of the bondage thing now.
Well, one of the things that happen is not really weakness, but when she... And I do believe they brought this back in the New 52, if I'm remembering this correctly, but it's basically when she takes off the bracelets, it's like she gets amped up, supercharged powers, kind of, and, like, ragey.
When she takes off the bracelets?
Yeah.
What sense does that make?
Well, it's like it's a metaphorical, magical kind of holding back sort of a thing.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure. Sounds a little out there for me. Again, magic isn't really my forte for the comics. I mean, like for Thor, the movies, I'm getting used to that.
I always kind of prefer, I mean, my kind of ideal version of Wonder Woman is maybe somewhat different, but I always kind of prefer it as, like, if they're going to set her in the modern world, it's like kind of Indiana Jones-ish, like we talked about before, and like how there are certain artifacts that have magical powers, and they're not typically, like, over the top with it. That's kind of how I would treat the magic in Wonder Woman most of the time.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. For me, I just want to see Wonder Woman in the city, because I want to be able for people and myself to say the city's name, Gateway City, without having to look it up. Because I kept thinking to myself, well, you know all the heroes' cities' names, but we think Wonder Woman is like, Well, seriously, I want to see Wonder Woman as a hero in the city. Don't get me wrong, the island stuff's good, but it's too much. They always go back to the island.
Yeah,
we're talking about Arrow now.
Yes. I mean, the Arrow, it's good when they go back to the island, because it's done in flashback. I'm still saying we barely, if ever, get any Wonder Woman in the city stuff. And if she even is in the city, it's in another person's city, helping out the Justice League.
Yeah, I mean, I like a globe-trotting Wonder Woman, but, I mean, my kind of ideal version in my head has, like, like, there is a progress there, and, like, yeah, she has a period where she does kind of the globe-trotting stuff, but then eventually she settles down somewhat in Gateway City. Gateway City is basically, like, San Francisco, which makes sense with the whole, like, kink thing, too. If you know anything about...
So you're saying kink and not pink, right? Just making sure.
Yeah. Which makes sense if you know anything about San Francisco. But a lot of people try and put her in...
Well, apparently I don't know anything about San Francisco now.
I always thought it was just a gay person's city, so...
Well, it's alternative lifestyle in general.
Well, Monk lives there.
Yeah.
Starfleet Academy.
Well, it needs say no more.
Yeah, exactly.
Deadpool was like that place, so now I have to look at that again.
But a lot of people try and put her in like DC, and I think that's just because DC has a lot of architecture that's kind of neoclassical and like pillars and stuff. But
well, in the animated movie, ends up in Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well.
New York, then Washington, actually.
Yeah, I definitely go for West Coast with Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I guess it's. I find there's like untapped potential with Wonder Woman in that you could see her operating the city in which she's. I know I've kind of talked your off about this enthusiast, and I'll just kind of briefly summarize it. It's kind of you see how different she is from how Superman and Batman operate in their cities, and that she's more of a public figure.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of being the like she did back in the 40s. Kind of being the person that says, let's recycle for the war effort, that sort of thing, but not exactly for the war effort. Just saying, recycling's good, and she'd like coach the kids' softball team, something, be a public figure, like helping the downtrodden. But as Wonder Woman, is being that one who's not afraid to be in the public eye, but still, it's not always a smart decision to be in the public eye when you're a superhero. All the time, like it's like why Superman isn't always Clark. Why Superman isn't always Superman? Like he goes as Clark Kent for a while.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm kind of saying? It's like a mix of Bruce Wayne and Superman.
Kind of been talking about relationships here.
Yeah.
What is everyone's thoughts on Joker and Harley and Poison Ivy's relationship?
Care to discuss that, Mr. Bondage?
I like that. That's what I should have called my channel. It's Mr. Bondage.
Okay, I'm the enthusiast. I didn't mean it.
That's totally going to be a new show. So
bonding.
Mr. Bondage.
Today we discuss
Time to.
It'll be a show where I just review like Golden Age Wonder Woman story.
I would actually just call it Bonding with the Enthusiast. Or you could also discuss the symbiote saga of Spider-Man with that.
Yeah, that's a little bit perverse when you think about it.
Well, it's more taking advantage of Peter Parker, but yeah.
Oh, blue.
As Azabor would jump to, it's raping of Peter Parker, but let's not get into that.
Yeah, essentially.
But yeah, Joker, Harley Quinn, and Poison Ivy into the fray also, just to make it a fun trio.
Yeah. I always got the impression, especially in the animated episode, Harley and Ivy, that Ivy was coming across very lesbian-esque and was really wanting to. There was very underneath that she wanted to get with Harley. You know what I mean? There was implications that there was something going on there between them.
And that was
according to Paul Dini that there was. So
that was a risky thing to do back then because that was before the comics.
Yeah, and the thing too, I mean, even in that episode, the Joker has a line where they say,
"You've been busy little bees." You've
been busy little bees, and originally the line was, "You've been busy little beavers."
Yeah. You know what?
But they were afraid of not getting that past the censors, so they changed it.
They actually got away with it for a while, so they didn't. They actually could have gotten away with it. They decided to change it. They were afraid just hearing it themselves. It's a little much.
But yeah, as far as it is clear that the relationship with Joker is very abusive, and like Harley's just got this thing where she always has to end up going back to him. So it's always.
You want to rev up your Harley?
Yeah.
You know what the original line was?
What?
You want to ride your Harley?
Oh.
Yeah, well...
Hey, it was that originally, and I think it might be that in the comic, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, that whole scene with the two of them, and she's wearing that very, very short negligee is...
It was see-through in the comic.
Yeah, I've actually got that comic because I wanted to read. I didn't particularly like that art design for the
Joker.
Joker. Yeah.
Yeah, it has the comic has the original animated style for all of them, which looks great.
Yeah, and
Batman with the yellow oval and the capsule utility belt looks great.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't mind Batman. I really just didn't like. I didn't like the way Joker was done because.
With the redesign for Joker, the one positive aspect you can take away from that redesign is that in the shadows, the eyes look good.
Yeah.
And kind of like these pinpoints, and even when they redesigned for Beyond Return of the Joker, the pinpoint look does kind of come back in the eyes, just with the red now. I'm saying that's the good thing. In shadow, it looks good. Just regularly, it does not look good. Looks kind of like Freakazoid, and yeah, I don't get why people instantly say Mickey Mouse, but I guess I kind of see it. Like Nostalgia Critic says, he looks a little bit like Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, I don't. I can't.
I don't get it, but I hear more and more.
I haven't seen that episode of the Nostalgic Critic for a while. Oh.
Yeah, I don't like how they made his skin kind of blue. It's kind of they streamlined the animation so it's easier to animate. With that, some people start to look alike.
Yeah, well,
they went too far with the Joker.
Yeah, they did go too far.
Yeah.
Joker, and he said Bruce Timm has said in the commentary said, "Yeah, I apologize for the way the lips look. There aren't any lips.
That's
I couldn't change it the last minute."
That's Glenn Murakami's fault. It is? Idea.
Oh, it is Glenn. He wanted the lips there. He wanted no lips.
Wanted no lips.
Oh yeah, well, Bruce Timm has apologized for the fact that there are no lips, and he blames Glenn Murakami.
Yeah, what's the point? Eyes, man.
Which is funny because Glenn Murakami came up with a lot of the more cool and interesting kind of graphic stuff that they did in the DCAU.
Well, Bruce Timm got his revenge on him. He's Howard Groot in Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
Oh, we have to mention that with Zeta.
Oh, yeah.
We have to mention Terry's friend dates a robot.
Because the Synthoid thing.
Now listen, Enthusiast.
Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, that was Steve Buscemi. I mentioned that to you, didn't I?
Yeah, I know. It looks exactly like him. I always think that, too, when I watch that one.
I have to do something for me. When they approach Zeta in the first episode, keep an ear out if they call him a Synthoid or not, because that might be
They do.
You're sure they call him a Synthoid in the first appearance in Batman Beyond?
Yeah.
Because I was thinking that because well, keep this in mind then. I guess I gotta watch Terry's friend dates a robot. I can't remember if the body design's the same or not.
I would have to check.
Because I guess the Synthoid could just stand for image changing.
Oh.
Because you can tell the designs are different in the other robots Bruce has. They're just their skin put on top of them.
Yeah.
However, Zeta's is a holographic projection unit.
I think Synthoid just refers to robots in general.
That could be synthetic being though.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe yeah. Relationships: Harley Quinn and Joker.
Yeah, that's a good one. I really like that. Always like Harley Quinn, where the Harley has to team up with Batman, and the plane crashes, and the Harley points the machine gun at him, and he's like, you won't, you'll never do it, and it's tat, and he goes, baby, you're the greatest.
And it ends like the honeymooners. It's like, and Batman just look at each other. And Iris is out. It's just off the walls ending. That's one of their that's one of the comedy episodes. Enthusiast.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I know I put it on my underrated list, but
yeah,
it's great. Also, I was going to mention something. I was going to mention the whole thing with Poison Ivy. Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn. Oh, I remember I was going to mention my idea for Harley Quinn Enthusiast.
Mm-hmm.
Or the way you could redo Harley Quinn, maybe if you approach it from a different angle, kind of reboot the character, is if you had her having a pre-existing relationship with Batman and kind of Joker.
Yeah.
They say they had a relationship. She had a relationship with Batman, not Bruce Wayne, just Batman. And he had eyes on the inside of Arkham Asylum, kind of like a good person on the inside of the asylum that kind of keeps his ears out. He hears Joker's going in the asylum. He warns her. he says, this guy's too dangerous. Don't take him as a patient. She goes against this, and it drives her insane. She works with Joker, and kind of Batman always sees it like another lost soul to the crime in Gotham, particularly the Joker. He can never get her back, and just not saying he couldn't get over her, I'm just saying it's like another reason he hates the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
An idea for like doing Harley different if they were to do her different. Not that I dislike the Harley we have now.
You would do her different.
Oh.
See what I mean? But yeah, the whole thing with Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn, I like how they keep it undefined because I don't think you necessarily need to say that there's something going on there. Right. But do you think that improves the character or does not improve the character? Those two have an intimate relationship.
As long as it's not done too dirty or anything, I don't mind.
Yeah. In the comics, they do kind of range from... Well, they really make... Bruce Timm's really drawn them... And Ronnie Del Carmen, who works at Pixar, by the way, has really made them scantily clad in design occasionally. And there's this mini-series called Harley and Ivy, the comic. Paul Dini and Bruce Timm worked on it. And,
yeah.
Basically a bunch of little Harley and Ivy stories. I think one of them's like they're in Arkham Asylum, and they have a bet of who can kiss the most inmates in the asylum. The deciding factor is Joker, and Poison Ivy uses these pheromones to get there. She's Plant Lady now, which always kind of bothered me. We never saw the evolution into Plant Lady.
I mean, because that could have been an actual episode.
Yeah, some people say that she's just the Poison Ivy clone. That's why she's plant-like.
Huh. That could be interesting.
The one that's from House and Garden.
Yeah.
So they say like one of those got away and they turned into that's the one that's there. That's why she's plant-like. I don't know. It's a little much. I mean, it's fine, but I want just if you're gonna make her plant Poison Ivy, which is still great, still a valid use of Poison Ivy, just explain it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying, have an explanation for that because it could be a good explanation.
I would have loved if given that they made her more plant-like, if we'd seen her in Batman Beyond and she was just, like, rooted into the ground, like she'd become so plant-like that, she couldn't move because she had to be rooted in a single place. That could have been cool.
We kind of got that already with Earthmover.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be nice if they brought... Again, I'm hoping with the Batman Beyond comics they're going to bring in more hints of the other villain. They don't necessarily need to... I have no problem with them bringing back all the villains, because it'd be cool to see them again. But as long as they do it right. It's like, that was like...
Because she could conceivably still be around, because trees live longer than people.
Yeah, it's like the... Again, they avoided that easy go-to that they could bring back any Batman villain, anyone would eat it up. They went for the archetypal approach, which is a good approach, and they rarely brought characters back. When they did, it was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm saying it's an easy go-to answer, but still, even if they don't bring back full characters, bring back some hints of characters, like a computer program for the Riddler.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, or they joked about a penguin robot.
Yeah.
Which I think's funny. It's up interpretation. And we kind of have a new Catwoman, which is a nice touch. And I don't know if she's going to become Batgirl, given what you told me, Enthusiast. About there being a Batgirl Beyond title.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. They're bringing Dick Grayson back.
Yeah, that would be... I'd love to see that. That would be great.
Well, they have brought him back.
Oh, he's got one eye.
Yeah. And he's also dating Catwoman of the future.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. That was weird.
Really?
Which she can like split herself into 3 parts, can't she?
Yes.
Weird.
Well, I mean, here's my real question. So she likes the older guys?
I guess so.
I mean, Dick Grayson's like, well, if Bruce is 80, that makes him like 60 or 70. Oh, that'd make him 70, wouldn't it?
It's
something like that.
Well,
yeah.
If
depending on how old you want to make Batman.
Let's see. I think it's like a 10-year difference, isn't it? Like Bruce is 20 when he adopts him, in his 20s when he adopts him.
Yeah. I think.
Yeah.
Like in I'm trying to think of that Robin's Reckoning episode.
That's really good.
Yeah, it is really good. I'm saying when he dies, like Robin's like a 10-year-old kid in that, so I'm guessing it's like a 10-year difference, and then later on it's 30 is going to be 30 is going to be 20, and then in the future it'd be like 80 and 70. So I'm guessing 70. So she's into a 70-year-old guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, I like the Harley Quinn Joker relationship. It works, and I love how Paul Dini created it. She started as just a hench wench, and she went so far.
Yeah, they kind of created her in Joker's favor.
They did.
And they wanted to do...
September 11th, actually.
Oh, okay. Anyway, they decided, let's go with this character, because they wanted someone that just looked like, that complemented the Joker, and she kind of took off from there, which is cool.
She was adapted in the comics. She was so popular, and she went a long way. She's a big contributing force in the Arkham games, especially City.
Yeah.
We'll see what she does in the Arkham City sequel when that gets made. See what her hour role's either grown or diminished in that.
What, the Arkham Origins?
Well, I mean, no, Arkham Origins is a prequel. I mean, I don't think I doubt she's going to be in Arkham Origins. Because it's early years of Batman. I don't think Harley was around at that point in the game.
Okay.
So I could be wrong on that, but the point is that she's an influential figure. Sometimes she can range from... How do you guys like your Harley? You like her just incompetent and loyal as heck, or do you like her like the manipulative psychiatrist?
I prefer the latter.
Okay, can we?
I'd like something in between, where she pretends to be incompetent, and yet at the end she like pulls something out. Like I liked how they implied that she had some gymnastic ability in Arkham, not Arkham City,
Asylum?
Asylum, yeah. But then of course Batman just decks her, and I was like, oh, because I wanted to see a Harley kick some butt.
Well, actually, some people, how some people have problem with Batman hating women.
Really?
Well, I mean, but keep in mind, a lot of them are bad women.
Yeah, no, I think Batman just brings out the worst in women.
Yeah, but the first time...
Not the comic, I mean the character.
Yeah, he... remember, he hits Harley and almost got him. Yeah. They don't show it, though. They don't show it on screen, but he hits Harley. It's like you hear the thud.
Yeah, so she's bad.
I mean, I know she's bad. I'm just saying if people have issue with that. I mean, it was even in the animated series of him hitting women, so...
So...
She tried to grind Catwoman up into cat food.
It doesn't bother me that he hit her. I'm just saying some people have that problem, or some people dance around it, like in Burton's film, for instance. You hit me, I'm a woman. I'm sorry, it's just... He gets kicked in the face.
That Returns movie has so many problems.
It does. Penguin has like 50 plans.
If that doesn't work, I'll try this, and if that doesn't work, I'll try this, and if that doesn't work...
What people don't really know is this guy, Christopher Walken's my brother.
Yeah, but I think that movie needs more cowbell.
Christopher Walken was the best part of that movie. Or at least he was the best actor in that movie.
Oh, well, I just think Michael Keaton wasn't given much to do.
Yeah, Tim Burton wanted to make a Penguin movie.
Yeah, why put Batman in a movie without Batman, or where he isn't the star? It's like Superman 3. Superman isn't the star of his own movie.
Yeah.
The star of Superman 3.
I was thinking about that. That movie, you could have easily just put Brainiac in there. I don't know why they didn't do that.
Yeah, the computer basically was Brainiac.
Because that was a computer movie. So
or
why not?
Hardeck.
Yeah, well, wasn't that... was Hardeck in the comics beforehand or not?
Well, I mean, no, I'm joking. I mean, Hardeck was created in the animated series.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it...
Well, then he literally was Dave in The Batman.
Yeah. Okay,
I'm thinking like Dave from HAL 9000.
Yeah.
And he sent me Jeff Bennett. Even Jeff Bennett's doing the voice again.
Mm.
Who did the voice of Hardak.
Yeah.
He does it to Dave the super criminal. But yeah, I think it's a little of both for Harley works well. You know, she's smart. She was formerly a smart psychiatrist. Yeah, she was.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what I do. I do the Legally Blonde thing with her.
Legally Blonde?
Yeah.
Elaborate, please.
Where she's all into, like, where she pretends to be this blonde bitch, but she's actually really smart.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm saying keep a little bit of that, but also she's.
I would use that as like a blueprint. Is what I'm saying. Is if you ever see that movie, use that as your blueprint, and work off that because.
Formally, she was that, but I'm saying when she needs to be, she can just tap into that. Like when Joker gets sick in Arkham City, she takes charge in that one. Like basically, she can tap into manipulative side when she's not just obsessed with being loyal to the Joker, and being ditzy and loyal to the Joker. Underneath, she is that.
Yeah.
So yeah, best of both worlds is what I'm saying. Yes, a little bit of both.
Best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Did you you gotta check this out. There was a video on YouTube where they used the Miley Cyrus song "Best of Both Worlds" and they put it over the "Best of Both Worlds" episode of Star Trek. It was so funny.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's I don't know if it's still up, but I laughed watching that because it's like, it's funny.
Hey, enthusiast.
Mm-hmm.
Can you remember who Will Friedle played in The Boy Meets World? Which character name he was?
No, I never watched that.
Okay, fair enough.
Will Friedle. Is he the guy that did the voice for...
He's the voice of Terry McGinnis in Batman.
Oh, yeah. He played the brother.
Well, what was the brother's name?
I forget what the brother's name is, but I can tell you.
Okay, but it was the brother.
Because he's had the famous line in that show where he said, "I'm Batman." Because it was, I think it was during the time when he was actually doing the voice of Batman.
Do you remember what year it was? Like, was it 99? Anywhere from 99 to 2001?
Around about that time it would have been, because I remember there was an episode where Mankind showed up, and it was before that, so it was probably around about that time.
Will Friedle's a good voice actor. He was Ron Stoppable in Kim Possible, and also recently, you know what he did recently?
What?
He was Deadpool recently.
I can see him working like that. I can see him working.
Yeah, here's the thing though. I mean, I think it takes like a few minutes to grow on you. He has this real. He captures what Deadpool is. He's just really jumping all over the place and fun. Especially he's on a technically a kid show. And of course, they can't have Deadpool killing people left and right. However, they do. They had one of the classic Deadpool writers on the episode, Joe Kelly, who also writes Spider-Man, so that he's on that for two reasons.
Yeah.
So he's there. And he still brings a lot of good Deadpool. The writing's great on Deadpool in that episode, I think. And of course, the series is crap, mind you. Series is awful. Series is absolute garbage.
Why are you watching it?
I'm not watching. I tried watching the first season, didn't like any of it. I just watched this because it had Deadpool in it.
Mm.
There's one episode because it had Deadpool in it. Anyway, so I'm watching it. It even has Paul Dini. How do you screw that up? They have Paul Dini working on this. Anyway.
Link Carr probably could tell you.
Anyway. It's well written for Deadpool. It's like a change of pace in that it was well written. I hear season 2 is better than the original. I'm not giving it a chance. I'm not going to watch it. Unless I hear, like, superb, like, amazing, spectacular, sensational things. Unless I hear those. I'm
avenging things?
Not avenging. Not superior either. Unless I hear...
Well, you do want to hear superior things.
Well, technically I am reading superior, so I might as well give superior things a shot. But I don't know...
They mocked that title on Geek Illusion, didn't they? That was going to be really bad, but apparently it sounds like it's doing really well.
Well, I say it's I'd say it's all right. I'm reading it. Dan is not, so I can't.
Yeah.
Sales are really, really good, apparently. So
I don't know. It has this interesting thing because the reason I'm picking it up is because initially it just reminds me of this really great episode of Justice League. Remember when Flash in
the Great Brain Robbery?
Exactly. That's what it takes me back. Just the villain inside the hero's body. Only now it's kind of the hero is kind of being influenced by the hero, even though the hero's gone. And it's this odd place where it's Peter Parker at his most successful, even though he's not. He's just observing. It's like Doc Ock in my body is more successful than I ever was. He's like,
well, Peter Parker's been wiped out of his mind now.
Well, right now he is. I'm saying before, like when he was still ghosting around and he was noticing that. And I thought that was good. They're taking it to some interesting places, but it's like I kept thinking, okay, I'm going to give this a shot. And if it's as bad as in the first issue, as bad as an idea as it sounds in the first issue.
Oh, see, I like the idea.
Well, I mean, not the idea. I mean, like they hinted at the idea in 700, and I hear there was no positive anticipation for this series, and that was the only reason I picked it up, because of that reason. And if that premise didn't sell me over, I would have dropped the book. But they had some good stuff in it, and that premise kept me coming back because it had some good stuff in it.
Apparently stunts sell, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I haven't dropped the book yet.
Yeah, I'm in the same position as you, Blue Dragon. I've been actually checking that one out. The thing is, I like Spider-Man, but I know I'm going to get lynched for this. I don't really like Peter Parker as a character. I've never really been that connected to him, so I'm kind of down for seeing.
That's very interesting. Enthusiast.
Doc Ock be Spider-Man.
You know why it's interesting, Enthusiast?
Why's that?
It's because really, when people instantly look at Spider-Man, they don't really look at him as an ideal like Batman.
Mm-hmm.
They look at Batman being a mask and stuff. It's really Spider-Man. He's just Peter Parker. He's just colorful Peter Parker, so no one knows who he is. I think it's interesting that you're looking at the character more than the guy underneath the mask, who people usually identify with.
Well, I mean, when I say I like Spider-Man, I like the concept of the character. I like the whole it's a coming of age story thing. It's just, I love all the colorful villains. I love the world of it. I don't know. I never really cared for Peter Parker personally.
That's fair enough. It's interesting. It's fair enough. Yeah.
He's not proactive enough for my taste.
I don't know. I think he's proactive enough in that all this stuff happens and he has to deal with it, because great power comes great responsibility. He has to. It's his responsibility to deal with these things, even though he has to kind of pull a Terry McGinnis. Well, technically Peter Parker pulled it first. You have to vacate. You have to leave to take care of the thing, even though you're blowing off the people you love. Like Dana for Terry McGinnis, and it's like, well, Spider-Man supporting characters.
Mm-hmm.
You have to deal with that later on and say, where were you? I was running in a crisis, like Spider-Man 2 stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe part of the thing, too, is like they keep taking Spider-Man and then trying to put him back in high school.
Yeah, that's not a good move. Like, John Romita Jr.'s run. And it kind of tested, like, the art in that book so good, you just instantly say Romita run instead of Straczynski run. Yeah, it's just, that run was great because it still kept alive what Peter Parker is, but advanced him as a character. Which is what I say you could do for a movie series. Just, you don't have to keep him in high school. Just keep advancing him as a character. Maybe when you get to that point, just make him a teacher if you really want to give him a position in science.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's fine. It was a smart movie.
I like the idea of like a hero who progresses from being a teen and then grows up and is an adult and still continues to be a hero. And I don't see why he couldn't have stayed married to Mary Jane and had a life.
Yeah, I still don't see why they broke up that marriage.
Yeah.
Are there any heroes that are divorced?
It's a good question.
Do we have any superheroes that are divorced?
Well,
Green Arrow and Black Canary were split up for a while, but I don't think that was after they were married, so...
Okay, well, any others?
I can imagine.
The Kims?
Well, wasn't that spousal abuse and then death?
Yeah, I guess so.
Does that really divorce, or...?
I can never remember.
I can't remember. I don't know either, so I'm just... I'm just asking you guys if you. Well, I'm asking
The
you.
I imagine the Doctor could be, unless you want to, unless he could be a widower. But I actually kind of imagine he's divorced.
No, Batman's never been divorced. Superman's never been divorced, and he's been married to Lois. Got nothing. I can't think of any. There is Gwen Stacy. That marriage was annulled by a man with a pumpkin bomb. Yeah, I'm sorry, what?
I was going to ask Enthusiast what he thought of the Captain Picard Beverly Crusher relationship.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting.
You're not still talking love interest, are you?
I was curious because
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
It's a little bit weird, maybe, but...
Wait, what? You mean... I'm sorry, is this a love interest thing?
Yeah, I was like, because you kind of we could detour, and I was going to ask this, because it's what do you think is weird? Because he's essentially the man responsible for her ex-husband's death.
Mm-hmm.
That's why.
Yeah, and I mean they were best friends too. So it's like you kind of your actions lead to the death of your best friend, and you have a thing for her wife, or a thing for his wife, and yeah, it's a lot of messy stuff going on there.
Yeah, and granted, I do feel like in the last season of Next Generation they were really stretching for ideas, and it's actually surprising that they managed to get another 2 successful series out of that team, essentially. And,
yeah.
So,
that's pretty much why at the end of TNG, Worf and Deanna got together.
which
They just ran out of ideas.
Yeah, and essentially in the last episode, they're in a relationship, but then something must happen because they're not together in the Generations movie, it seems. So then you get to Nemesis, and Riker and Deanna are getting married, which is okay, which is where it was supposed to be going in the first place. Except she says, "I never kissed you with a beard," except there's an episode where she does kiss him.
Yeah.
They can't even keep their own continuity straight.
No. Maybe it's just like she's empathic, and she gets close to Worf, and he's a Klingon, so he's just always thinking about violent stuff. And so that she picks up on that, and that would be unsettling, I would imagine.
And then, of course, then he hooks up with Cynthia. I don't hate Ezri. I just think that they brought her in to replace Jadzia because they wanted to keep something going with that character. And I think they should have done another series in the 24th century and picked up that character and then did something with her in the next thing.
Yeah.
Because really, I feel like going backwards to Enterprise just didn't work because they clearly wanted to still keep stuff from the 24th century that's still there. But they, granted though, I don't entirely hate Enterprise like some people do. I like the 3rd and 4th series better because seasons, because that's it's like the first 2 are like, oh god.
The thing people forget too is like the first couple seasons of TNG were terrible as well. So I mean, if Enterprise had gone on like for a full 7 seasons, like it would probably be better remembered.
Yeah, I think they were heading for something big. I just wish that when I got to that final episode, I was like, oh, that's it for Star Trek? Oh, what the heck? Because they had a series of 3-parters, and what the heck? And all those 3-parters were really good. Like, you had that one with Data and sort of thing, and that was really interesting. I like the end of where they like it might be a stretch, but I like the end where he says, "Well, it might take a couple of generations to get everything right."
Well, back to Ultimate Deadpool.
Deadpool. I don't know much about. I really don't know much about Deadpool, but
Well, I mean the episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the episode was called Ultimate Deadpool. It was just kind of the idea was like Deadpool like spray painted out Spider-Man and put Deadpool in there. It's just Will Friedle. I'm just gonna wrap up on this for.
Yeah.
On the Deadpool topic.
Will you actually wrap it?
No.
Yeah.
I can't rap. I can't rhyme. And I can't rap. Have you lost your mind? But yeah, the thing of the Ultimate Deadpool, it's well written. It's surprisingly well written. Wilfred takes some time getting used to, and what they did was they kind of approached the idea. The idea of the episode is that Spider-Man, you see, he has the Peter Parker look. You know, he's getting caught in the rain. He's getting zapped by S.H.I.E.L.D. robots. Again, I hate how Spider-Man's on a team. But other than that, they keep all the bad stuff I hate about all the Spider-Man to a medium. So that's good. You know, him being on a team, being by a S.H.I.E.L.D.-sponsored team, what they do with it is Deadpool goes in there and basically everyone says, oh, hey, it's Deadpool. He's cool, but he's nutty. And you think Deadpool was an ex-S.H.I.E.L.D. agent who went freelance, and of course you don't find out till like later on that he's a mercenary. Which, at least for Peter Parker, that's a problem. That really you're that naive. You can't piece together this guy's a mercenary instead of and not a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. Does this guy strike you as S.H.I.E.L.D. agent material at all to you? This guy's anyway. Point is, there's this great line where he says, when he finds out that Deadpool's been killing people, at this point he still thinks he's a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. He just doesn't realize he's a mercenary yet. He says, he says, you kill people? No, I unalive people. Because at first he doesn't say kill. You know, when I do the K word, he says, when I unalive people. And he says, you kill people? That's the only time they say kill in the episode, which is a good way to get around standards and practices. It's kind of Joe Kelly writing in that it's outlining what you need to know about Deadpool, because that's why Deadpool's not really an animation, because he's a mercenary, he kills people.
I've never really understood what Deadpool should sound like.
Well, Nolan North, that's what he should sound like. But yeah, that's the voice I was introduced to him by, and he's been in animation very few times. He's been in video games mostly.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is like he speaks in those yellow speech bubbles.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, what does that translate to, like, voice-wise?
Well, in some fan interpretations, which are very good, by the way, they also helped me get into the character a lot. Mike Galusic, or M. Galusic as his channel dictates, he kind of approaches Deadpool in that he's scarred on the outside, maybe he's scarred a little on the inside, and he's been through a lot. So in the Weapon X program, he was scarred and experimented on. So maybe the voice is scratchy with the yellow box. It's going, hi there, I'm Deadpool, the merc with a mouth. That's kind of, it's a little scratchy in the delivery. Nolan North's more like fast action, really hyper, but really funny though. And Will Friedle's take on the character is really, it's off the walls hyper kid on sugar, but it's really funny and well written. And he overacts a lot in this, so it's Will Friedle at the point of madness. It's like if you take Ron Stoppable but crank him on all cylinders, wacky, and he breaks the fourth wall. He does a lot of rhyming. Actually, I think he might do a little bit of rap. No, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the game. The game has a rap at the end of it.
I'm still waiting for you to do a little bit of rap.
Not rapping. The game, he actually raps in the game when he has his theme song playing. Like, Beal that you can't be and all that stuff. I don't know. And Will Friedle has rapped a few times in animation.
Oh, okay.
He's rapped as Ron Stoppable in, like, Kim Possible. I'm not a big fan of rap at all. I don't like rap at all. But I don't mind the animation rap that he's doing in there.
I don't hate rap.
Really?
I just don't think it's a great style of music.
Yeah. I guess the Kim Possible song is just really catchy. That's the reason I forgive it. The two rap songs they had in Kim Possible, it was like surprisingly good. But I'm getting off. The point is, it was good Deadpool writing. The way they got around the guns is they used laser weaponry in addition to they used the Gatling gun with bullets, so they got away with some of it.
Mm.
And that's the only mention kill once. So they fit Deadpool in there nicely. And I was impressed by that. And they had him be stabbed by stuff, but the stabbings off screen, no blood. And he's like pulling the arrows out of his back, and he's like he gets stabbed in like one of the shoulder boxes. Tells him it's like the yellow boxes in the comics, but it's like a little shoulder cartoon version that they use for Spider-Man. But Deadpool actually breaks the fourth wall. It's saying, as Deadpool's addressing the audience, "Hi there, I'm Deadpool." All that sort of stuff. And then he says, "Well, you have a bunch of swords sticking out." "I don't have a bunch of swords sticking." He looks backward, and all these swords are like protruding out of his back. They have him mostly do sword play instead of gunplay. Again, kids' TV. And he says, "Wow, ouch, or yuck." He says, "But I have a healing factor. Yay for me!" I guess the reason I really like Deadpool is he sounds a lot like Freakazoid. With Will Friedle's delivery of it, and kind of the writing mix match. It's like a Freakazoid Deadpool with overreacts a lot. But he kind of does this thing where he talks really high and says, "But I'm the best there is at what I do." He mocks Wolverine in the episode a few times. Says, "Deadpool, no fooling. I'm the best. I'm the best there is at what I do." Puts a little Wolverine mask over himself and mocks the claw issue. That samurai cover.
Yeah.
And it's fun. I recommend this episode. It's funny. Ultimate Deadpool, it's called. It's like episode 16 of not Amazing Spider-Man. It's a movie of Ultimate Spider-Man. Don't recommend the series. Heck no, I don't recommend the series. Just recommend that one episode.
Yeah, you know what? I really don't. I don't see why there can't be an adult a M-rated animation thing. I don't know why that does cover more comic book stuff.
Yeah,
really.
it would be neat to see that. Back in my first introduction to Deadpool, the Hulk vs. Wolverine thing, he was PG-13 rated, so you get away with a lot more.
Yeah, that was direct to DVD, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, so why can't we have that on television?
Well, because kids would be watching it.
Put it on to a time when they're not going to be watching it.
Well, I mean, that'd be good, but still kids are going to then see it's superhero related. They're going to try to watch it. Except, I don't know how Spawn went. Do you think kids watch Spawn, like, against their parents' wishes?
It was on HBO, so...
It was on HBO.
Yeah, so why can't?
I guess it's different because it's primetime television, or it's like more kid-oriented. Either kid-oriented or primetime. Then again, we have Adult Swim, so take that for what you will. We got Adult Swim on Cartoon Network, that's late at night, and we get more adult stuff on there, but...
Yeah.
Maybe you have a point. You have a point, Magpie. You do.
I do.
You do.
Because I have a brain and I use it.
Also, a supporting character. I love Cosgrove from Freakazoid. And I love villain, going really way back. I love all the villains in Freakazoid and the voice cast for the villains, like Ricardo Montalban, who is awesome. He's the epitome of awesome.
The late Ricardo Montalban.
Yeah, the very, very good actor.
Khan!
Yes, my
real Khan!
Don't say the weenie word.
Don't say that weenie word.
Yes, Mr. Drebin. Also, I love him in Naked Gun. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
The Leslie Nielsen movie. It's one of the great parody films back when they were good.
Yeah. Before Scary Movie, people took over and...
Yeah. But really
well, the first Scary Movie was okay. The second was when they started to lose it, and then...
The problem is, Magpie keeps dividing into a copy of a copy, which really devolves.
Yeah.
You lose writers, and then you get the crappy side of the writers. They just go for like the instant like pop culture joke.
Yeah.
You take that, and then you multiply. You get writers that are replicating the style, and it's just you're either getting one of those writers, and it's getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Right. But with the original and with Freakazoid, it really makes those funny. With getting they got these esteemed actors to play these villains, and they made them say some of the most ridiculous things, and it was hilarious. Yeah. Like Ed Asner as Cosgrove, he would say, "Give me a double chubby boy," at like a burger place, and and at the it's just real funny. They have the thing that always made me laugh out loud with Freakazoids. They kind of parodied the Jim Gordon Batman meeting scenes in his hilarious manner, and that it was basically Freakazoid. He'd be, okay, I'm on my way, or like he'd just be doing whatever he's doing. Then Cosgrove would come by in the police car and say, "Hey, Freakazoid, you want to go do this?" And
Do I?
Do I? Yeah, he goes like, you want to go to Jellyland? Do I? They're at Jellyland. It says after they had a fun time there, while Freakazoid was about to take care of business, he's there and he's saying, "Oh yeah, Freakazoid, there's this thing going on down at the old abandoned warehouse. I don't know if it were me, I'd go down and do something about it. But that would be if I was me. Just, I'm on my way." He runs around making the whooshy sound.
Mm.
It's comedic gold, and it's just so great. Ricardo Montalban as Gutierrez.
I'll have to check. I have to check that show out because I don't think it was ever on an appropriate time. Like it was one of those shows I probably just missed as a kid.
Yeah, well, what killed it was it aired too early in the day, towards the end of the run. That's why it was canceled. Not even burglars were up at that time. To quote Tom, Tom Ruger and John P. McCann.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's
Well, boys, I think I'm gonna head out. It's like 3 a.m. here. I
yeah.
need to sleep.
Yeah.
Well, it's 5 p.m. here, so I'll have to, and I've got people calling me too, so I'll have to go too.
Well, Enthusiast, it's been a pleasure having you on, fella. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's been fun, guys.
We got to do this more often. Have you on for a Superman commentary or something.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I'll have to, if it's all right, I'll add you to my Skype list if that's all right.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. But this was great. It's been about 3 hours, so I'll put this up as soon as I can. Okay. Okay. And thank you, everyone, for listening. We'll catch you all later.
See ya.
Au revoir.